Chapter 62. Boom! The full moon landed on the arena, giving off a loud sound. This time, the moon bright like fire was much stronger than the one Zhang He had used earlier. The huge arena was shattered into countless pieces. A huge shockwave spread out in all directions. Some of the people who were standing closer to the arena were struck by the shattered pieces. Their qi and blood surged, and they suffered significant injuries. This was truly an undeserved calamity. The dust on the arena danced in the air. The people who were far away could not see what was happening. They could not help but feel anxious when they saw what was happening. What a strong moon bright like fire. It is even stronger than the one Zhang He executed. There is dust everywhere. Who won? Although they wanted to know the result, they were afraid that something unexpected would happen. They did not dare to rush forward. The people who were injured by the shattered pieces were a living example of this. After a long time, when the thick dust finally dispersed, everyone could clearly see the situation on the arena. The 2-meter-tall arena, made of heavenly mountain stones, no longer existed. All that was left were countless pieces of rubble. Zhang He was lying on the ground. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. The shadow-bearing sword in his hand had already disappeared. The arena master standing at the side had an indescribable dispirited expression on his face. The arena that he had painstakingly built was gone, just like that. Although he could obtain a tenth of the wager as a commission, it was far from being able to compare to the damage to the arena. The situation was clear at a glance. Everyone knew that Xiao Chen had won this duel. He had defeated a medial-grade martial master, Zhang He, as a medial-grade martial disciple. Such news would definitely shock Mo City. It would even spread far and wide in Cheesy County. Xiao Chen, who was an entire realm lower than him, had actually defeated Zhang He. This was definitely explosive news. This battle had also completely rid Xiao Chen of the reputation of being trash in Mo City. Everyone could predict that an unparalleled genius had appeared. While everyone was discussing this, there was only one person standing there with a complicated expression on his face. He was Xiao Chen's elder brother, Xiao Jian. Xiao Jian held a nidin in his hand. That was the nidin of the rainbow flame python. Before Xiao Chen left, he had tossed it to Xiao Jian. Xiao Jian's heart was filled with a myriad of emotions. He really wanted to throw away the rainbow flame python's inner core. He didn't want to accept Xiao Chen's charity, but he really couldn't bear to do it. 3 days later in the Xiao mansion, in Xiao Chen's yard, Bauer quietly asked, "Second young master, the first elder sent someone to get you again. Are you going to reject him again?" Xiao Chen recovered from his cultivation state and smiled bitterly in his heart. "You don't have to be so anxious. You've been urging me more than 10 times in 3 days." After the duel that day, although Xiao Chen barely managed to defeat Zhang He, the time limit of the essence swallowing pill was up. Very soon the essence swallowing pill would cause a backlash. He was worried that he would be intercepted and killed in the middle of his journey. After taking away the Chungying sword, he immediately felt it. In order not to let the side effects of the cloud swallowing pill leave a hidden danger in his body, he had to use the cloud swallowing pill. Xiao Chen had not gone out for the past 3 days. He had been refining the remnant essence of the cloud swallowing pill in his body. Furthermore, he had comprehended many things in that battle. Xiao Chen did not want anyone to disturb him, so he chose to close his doors and refused to see anyone. Only now did he completely digest the essence of the cloud swallowing pill. However, there were many things that he had comprehended in that battle that he had yet to comprehend. He could only think about them in the future. If he did not go out now, the first elder would definitely send someone to barge in. Thinking of this, Xiao Chen said to the door, "Bao, go and inform them that I will be out soon." After tidying up his clothes, Xiao Chen thought about how to deal with the first elder. Then, he opened the door and took a deep breath. Slowly, he walked towards the first elder's yard. Along the way, all the Xiao clan disciples that he met looked at him with a completely different expression. The gossip that he often heard in the past no longer existed. Everyone's expressions were the same as they appeared on the surface. They all held reverence for Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen did not really care about the attitude of the Xiao clan disciples. He took large strides forward, and soon arrived at Xiao Chang's yard. Xiao Chang and Xiao Yulan sat at the stone table in the yard. Xiao Yulan was still as beautiful as ever. Every time he saw her, he would be moved. Cousin Xiao Chen, now that you are famous, you start to play cards. You are not even willing to meet your cousin, Xiao Yulan said half-truthfully when she saw Xiao Chen walk over. Xiao Chen first bowed to the first elder before saying from under the table, "Cousin Yulan, I am sorry. I have been recuperating for the past few days. It is not convenient for me to meet anyone." When Xiao Yulan saw Xiao Chen apologizing seriously, she hurriedly said, "I was just joking with you. Everyone knows that you are recuperating." Ever since Xiao Chen entered, Xiao Chang's gaze had been fixed on Xiao Chen, never leaving him. At this moment, he took over the conversation. "Second young master, are there any major problems with your body? There are still some rank 7 herbs in the Xiao clan's dispensary. Don't bear everything on your own." The Xiao clan had been in charge of Seven-Horn Mountain for over 100 years. It was not strange for them to have a few rank 7 herbs. Xiao Chen said, "There are no major problems. Thank you, First Elder, for your kind intentions. Then I am relieved. I do not have to worry about the trial of Gloomy Forest in 2 days." After Xiao Chang said that, he changed the topic. "What exactly did you obtain from the Thunder King's cave? Can you tell me in detail?" Others might not be able to figure out the reason for Xiao Chen's sudden burst of combat prowess. However, Xiao Chang could easily link it to the Thunder King's cave. Xiao Chen's expression did not change. He had already guessed that the First Elder would ask this. He placed the lunar shadow saber on the table and said, "This is the Thunder King's Thunderwood sword from back then. I reforged it into a profound ranked spirit weapon. I obtained the inheritance of the Thunder King from it." Xiao Chen's words were half true and half false. No one could find any flaws in it. Following that, he made up a story about how he obtained the inheritance. After listening to it, Xiao Chang believed this answer. He cautiously said to Xiao Chen, "Don't tell anyone about you obtaining the inheritance of the Thunder King. Otherwise it will bring you a disaster. This matter is very important. My Xiao clan might even prosper because of it." The Thunder King was the most famous Emperor Wu in the past 1,000 years. His fame in the continent could be said to be very widespread, deeply rooted in the hearts of the people. Many people yearned for his inheritance. If they were to know that Xiao Chen obtained the inheritance of the Thunder King, then Xiao Chen would be hunted down endlessly. Xiao Yulan picked up the lunar shadow saber on the table and examined it carefully. She praised, "This saber is really cousin's lucky item. Back then, it helped us escape from the cave. Now, it helped cousin obtain the inheritance of the Thunder King. It is truly a good saber." Xiao Chen smiled in his heart. Although cousin Yulan was very talented in combat, her thoughts were still very pure. She actually described such a strong demonic weapon as being lucky twice. He suddenly thought of something and took out the Chungying sword from the universe ring. He handed it to Xiao Yulan and said, "Cousin Yulan, back then, you gave me all those moonstones. Now, I'm giving you this Chungying sword as compensation." When Xiao Yulan heard this, she smiled and said, "I do not dare to take this sword. The Zhang clan's clan head came a few times in the past few days, wanting to redeem this sword. We absolutely cannot let them redeem it. How can we let go of something that is already in our hands?" Xiao Chen said, "The material of this Chungying sword was forged from top-notch frost iron. Furthermore, it contained a trace of righteous qi. However, because it did not contain a large amount of moonstones, its rank could not be raised. Its actual value was very high." Honestly speaking, Xiao Chen was a little reluctant to give it to Xiao Yulan. After he cultivated the Purple Thunder Divine Incantation to the 2nd layer, he had always wanted to refine a protective magic treasure. However, he was unable to do so due to a lack of materials. If he did not give this sword to Xiao Yulan, he felt that he could refine a pretty good magic treasure. If he gave it to the Zhang clan, it would be too much of a loss. When Xiao Yulan saw Xiao Chen's nervous expression, she smiled tactfully. Her pretty face was like a flower, completely devoid of her usual cold expression. She said, "Don't worry. Father's intentions are the same as yours. I will never let go of something that is already in my hands. As long as it is something that you give me, I will dare to use it." Xiao Chen blushed with shame in his heart. Cousin Yulan's personality seemed to have undergone a huge change. She no longer had the cold and distant attitude that she had when they first met. Today she even joked with him twice. The tragic thing was that he did not realize it. However, he did not know the thoughts of a girl. When joking with someone, it depended on who the person was. If the other disciples of the Xiao clan saw the famous icy beauty of the Xiao clan chatting so happily with Xiao Chun, they would definitely be shocked. The three of them chatted for a long time about the trial of Gloomy Forest. Xiao Chang told them about his experiences in the trial of Gloomy Forest, without holding anything back. Before they left, something unexpected happened to Xiao Chun. The first elder, Xiao Chang, asked about the martial spirit in Xiao Chun's body again. Furthermore, he requested to check it out personally. This caused the doubts that Xiao Chun had long ago to resurface. Could it be that the blue dragon martial spirit really had some unspeakable secret? When Xiao Chang's consciousness entered Xiao Chun's body, Xiao Chun hid the blue dragon martial spirit in his body into the white clouds. He used his spiritual sense to imitate a purple flame, barely concealing it from Xiao Chang. Xiao Chun returned to his room filled with doubts. He laid on the bed and thought about this question. Why did the first elder care so much about his own martial spirit? Xiao Jian's blue dragon martial spirit had already disappeared for 1,000 years. It was not strange for them to be cautious. However, Xiao Chun could feel a sense of fear from the first elder's attitude. That was fear of the blue dragon martial spirit. Every time he knew that the martial spirit in his body was not the blue dragon martial spirit, the first elder's attitude would become much more relaxed. What secret was this blue dragon martial spirit hiding? Just at this moment, Bai suddenly jumped out from the spirit blood jade that Xiao Chun wore on his chest. It looked around for Ao Jiao. Its anxious look was extremely cute. When Xiao Chun saw Bai's appearance, he revealed a smile. These few days, every time this little fellow came out, it would look for Ao Jiao. When it could not find her, it would open its pitiful eyes and look at Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun knew that this little fellow must have gotten addicted to the heaven and earth essence. However, now that Ao Jiao had sealed herself in the lunar shadow saber, Xiao Chun did not know when he would be able to see her again. Thinking of this, Xiao Chun could not help but feel melancholy. Without that lass by his side, he felt that something was missing. Hugging Bai in his embrace, Xiao Chun started to infuse essence into its body, circulating the mysterious 9 heavenly revolution transformations cultivation method. This was something he had started doing after returning 3 days ago. Naturally, it was better for spirit beasts to cultivate as early as possible. Bai was an innate rank 6 spirit beast. In the future, it would definitely be a great help to Xiao Chun. Chapter 63. There were only 2 days left to the trial of Gloomy Forest. Xiao Chun still did not go out. During the day, he continued to comprehend the insights he gained from his battle with Zhang He. At night, he cultivated the Purple Thunder Divine Incantation. Xiao Chun felt that he had already touched the edge of the Battle Sage Origins changing character formula. However, after he returned, he tried to execute Flight on Wings again, but he did not succeed a few times. Xiao Chun pondered bitterly. One of the main reasons why he could execute Flight on Wings so smoothly that day was because he was struck by moon bright like fire. He was in a desperate situation, which stimulated his potential. Another reason was that he had consumed the essence swallowing pill, which greatly increased his strength. His cultivation realm was much higher than it was now. Regardless of the reason, Xiao Chun was filled with anticipation for the trial of Gloomy Forest. Only in a dangerous place would he be able to put himself in a desperate situation. Experiencing the essence of the Battle Sage Origins, changing character formula between life and death. Only through continuous battles could he increase his strength. Closing himself off from the outside world was not a good method. 2 days later, the trial was held as scheduled. Under the lead of the first elder, Xiao Chun followed the crowd and rushed to the plaza in the city center. There, he would meet up with the other people from the 3 great clans. After that, under the lead of Mo City's city lord, they would rush to the periphery of Gloomy Forest to begin the trial. This time, there were 10 people from the Xiao clan participating in the trial. All of them were at least superior grade martial disciples. Xiao Jian and Xiao Yulan's cultivation had even reached the martial master realm. They were definitely the strongest group of people in the three great clans. When they rushed to the plaza, the people from the Tang clan and the Zhang clan had already arrived. The gazes from both sides were very unfriendly. Recently, the two clans had suffered losses at the hands of the Xiao clan. With the addition of old and new grudges, they could not wait to start a fight. On the stone platform in the middle of the plaza, the city lord had not appeared yet. Xiao Chun and Xiao Yulan were chatting casually. They did not feel bored, but they thought that the city lord was putting on a show. "You are Xiao Chun." Just as the two of them were chatting, someone suddenly walked over from the side. Xiao Yulan faced that person and frowned slightly. She said in a soft voice, "It's the Tang clan's people." Xiao Chun's spiritual sense had already seen the appearance of this person. He was not surprised in his heart. He turned around and smiled. "It is indeed me. I wonder why Brother Tang Feng is looking for me." When Tang Feng heard Xiao Chun call out his name, he felt it was strange. His expression changed slightly as he smiled. "It's nothing. Recently, everyone in Mo City knows about Brother Zhao's name. I just wanted to make friends with you." Xiao Yulan smiled coldly from behind. "Befriend? Your big brother, Tang Yuan, died on our Seven-Horn Mountain. Instead of seeking revenge, you are here to befriend us?" After Tang Feng heard this, the smile on his face became even wider. He said, "This fellow has always been at odds with me. Now that he died in Brother Zhao's hands, he deserves it. I should be thanking Brother Xiao instead. Why would I think of revenge?" Tang Feng was astonished. For the sake of the position of clan head, brothers would fight with each other. This had happened since ancient times, so it was not strange. However, back in Linling Pavilion, Xiao Chun already knew this person's character. How could he believe his words? When Xiao Jian, who was at the side, heard Tang Feng's words, his expression changed slightly. It was unknown what he was thinking. Xiao Chun walked in front of Tang Feng and whispered into his ear, "I was the one who bought the inferior grade spirit stone in Linling Pavilion. Do you still want to befriend me?" Tang Feng's expression changed greatly. His earlier smile disappeared and he said gloomily, "You have spoiled my plans time and again. So it was you who did it. Don't be too pleased with yourself. It is best if you don't go to Gloomy Forest. If you go, don't even think of coming out." Tang Feng flung his sleeves and snorted coldly. Then he left without looking back. However, Xiao Chun had a bad premonition in his heart. Since Tang Feng said that, could it be that there is a death trap waiting for me in Gloomy Forest? "Cousin Xiao Chun, what did you say to that person to make his expression so unsightly?" Xiao Yulan asked curiously. Not only her, but the other Xiao clan disciples were also looking at him curiously. Xiao Chun smiled and said, "I told him that it is very impolite for him to come out and speak to others without even wiping his eyes clean." When everyone heard this, they all laughed. However, it left a shadow in Xiao Chun's heart. He could not let it go, but he had no choice but to go to Gloomy Forest. There was no other way. "Never mind, I will deal with whatever comes my way. Thinking about it now will only increase my worries," Xiao Chun consoled himself. At this moment, the crowd suddenly became noisy. Xiao Chun looked up and saw that it was indeed the city lord, Dugufeng, who had finally arrived. This was the person who used the most power in Mo City. Xiao Chun was somewhat curious. He sent out his spiritual sense, but he discovered that he could not see through his strength. Xiao Chun could not help but feel astonished. The city lord's cultivation must be astonishing. However, he did not expect it to be to such an extent that even he could not see through it. The city lord gave everyone a few words of encouragement, but he did not say anything else. Instead, he gave some instructions to the people behind him. Instantly, a few black dots appeared on the horizon. As the black dots got closer, they could clearly see that they were huge flying spirit beasts, curtains of bats. This was a type of mutated bat-like bird. It did not have any feathers on its body, only glossy black flesh. Its body was huge, and when it spread its wings, it was at least tens of meters long. When it stopped, it created a huge whirlwind on the ground. Sand and pebbles flew everywhere, making it hard for people to open their eyes. Everyone followed Xiao Chang to one of the curtains of bats. Their faces were filled with excitement. This group of people had never seen a flying bird before. Now that they had the opportunity to ride it, they could not help but feel excited. Even though Xiao Chun could use the gravity spell to fly slowly, he was filled with anticipation for this curtains of bats. Riding on a bird would definitely be a different experience. After the curtains of bats spread out its wings, its body and wings connected together, making it look like a huge platform. Under the instructions of the rider of this curtains of bats, everyone removed their shoes and socks and climbed on barefoot. When Xiao Chun stood barefoot on the curtains of bats, he could actually feel a slight suction force locking his feet in place. When he wanted to lift his feet, he took a few steps forward easily. It was as stable as flat ground. Xiao Chun was astonished. No wonder, even though there were so many flying spirit beasts, this curtains of bats was the most widely used. Although it was ugly, it was very stable. With a cry, the curtains of bats created a strong gust of wind, and they took off with a so sound. This curtains of bats did not rely on the flapping of its wings to fly. Instead, it relied on the control of the wind. Its speed was extremely fast. The group of people in Mo City below became smaller and smaller in the eyes of the crowd. Eventually, they turned into black dots and completely disappeared. The wind howled in their ears, but the suction force coming from the soles of their feet did not cause them to panic. The smiles on their faces had not yet faded. Gloomy Forest was very desolate, and it was quite a distance away from Mo City. Even if they rode on this curtains of bats, it would take at least 4 hours. Xiao Chun did not want to waste any time, so he sat down cross-legged and started cultivating. A look of gratification flashed on Xiao Chang's face. Such diligence, neither arrogance nor rashness. Furthermore, with the help of the Thunder King's inheritance, he would definitely accomplish great things in the future. Under the influence of Xiao Chun, the excitement on the faces of the others slowly receded. They sat down cross-legged and entered a state of cultivation. Bang! After flying for a long time, the curtains of bats finally came to a stop. Xiao Chun opened his eyes and put on his shoes and socks. Then he gently jumped down. Looking at the gloomy forest in front of him, he muttered to himself, "This is gloomy forest. I wonder what kind of surprise it will bring me." Just at this moment, Xiao Chun felt a gaze filled with a strong killing intent directed at him. Looking in the direction of the killing intent, Xiao Chun saw that it was the Zhang clan head. He did not have any intention of hiding it. His eyes were filled with a strong hatred, and a strong killing intent surged towards Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun did not show any fear. He grinned and did not seem to care at all. "Elder Xiao, are these the people that your Xiao clan sent?" The Mo City city lord brought 4 old men dressed in gray robes over. Xiao Chang nodded his head and pointed out the appearances of the 10 people to the city lord. When it came to Xiao Chun, under the city lord's request, Xiao Chang introduced them. "Elder Xiao, this is not your first time here. You should be very clear about the rules." Xiao Chang nodded his head. "Of the 10 people I brought, the strongest is only a mediocre-grade martial master. The oldest is 18 years old. City Lord Dugu can check them carefully." In this trial of Gloomy Forest, the participants' cultivation could not be higher than martial master. Their age could not be over 20. Once they exceeded the requirements, they would be eliminated. Xiao Chun heaved a sigh of relief. He did not expect there to be such a requirement. If there were no martial grand masters, even if the Zhang clan and the Tang clan worked together to deal with him, he would not have any fear. After Dugu Feng and the others left, Xiao Chang looked at the crowd with a serious expression and said, "I do not wish to speak too much about the dangers of Gloomy Forest. You should all be clear on this. No matter what grudges you have once you are inside, you will all have to let it go. This trip will be filled with difficulties. Xiao Chun will be your team leader. His words are my words." When the crowd heard this, they revealed an astonished expression. However, they immediately felt at ease. With Xiao Chun's current strength, there was nothing wrong with him being the team leader. Xiao Chang waved his hand, not allowing Xiao Chun to speak. "You do not need to reject. I have not said your mission yet. Lead this group of people to survive and hunt for 100 rank 2 demonic cores. Then, you will have completed your mission." Xiao Chun felt helpless in his heart. However, The first elder had already made up his mind. There was no room for anyone to refute him. He could only accept this difficult task. Half an hour later, everyone had finished their preparations. Under Xiao Chen's lead, they slowly walked towards the dark forest. They could see that the other two teams had also started to move at this time. So cold, the instant they stepped into the forest, everyone felt a chill. The soil on the ground was actually black, causing their scalps to go numb. When they looked up, the towering and dense foliage blocked out all the sunlight. The forest was dark. Everyone's vision was greatly obstructed. When Xiao Chen looked in front, there was a black fog spreading out. He could not see clearly at all. Xiao Chen extended his spiritual sense. Under the obstruction of an unknown force, his spiritual sense could only extend to a radius of 200 meters. Xiao Chen was somewhat astonished. He had not expected such a situation to occur. However, this was not the time to complain. Xiao Chen took out the map that the first elder had given him and looked at it. Then he led the group forward. After 20 minutes, there was still no change in the scenery before them. Finally, someone could not help but complain. Xiao Chen, why are you leading us? We have been walking for so long, yet we still do not see any demonic beasts. If this goes on, when will we be able to complete the mission of 200 demonic cores? Xiao Chen felt somewhat helpless. It had not even been half an hour, and there were already people who could not endure the loneliness. This mission of being the team leader was really difficult. You want to meet demonic beasts so badly? Are you not afraid of being eaten by demonic beasts? Someone teased. What a joke. I am here to kill demonic beasts, not to feed them. How could that be possible? That person said loudly. Originally, Xiao Chen wanted to ignore him. However, at this moment he felt a dangerous aura. He quickly shouted, "Danger! Everyone be careful!" When the others heard this, they immediately became vigilant. The person who spoke first looked around, but did not discover anything. He said impatiently, "Danger? Where is the danger you mentioned? Why do I not see it?" Pussy eye. Right above that person's head, the others saw an extremely horrifying scene. A huge red tongue descended from the sky and instantly wrapped around that person. Chapter 64. What is this thing? The others all cried out in alarm. At the top of a large tree, there was a huge lizard circling above. Its bright red tongue was pulling that Xiao Clan cultivator upwards. That person struggled continuously, his legs thrashing in the air. Everyone stared blankly at this scene, watching as that person slowly left above them. They could not think of any solution. Lightning evasion. Rushing thunder chop. In a moment of desperation, Xiao Chen aimed at the sky and executed the lightning evasion. A bolt of lightning tore through the eternal darkness of gloomy forest, as he instantly executed the rushing thunder chop. The instant the lightning solidified, Xiao Chen appeared in the air like an ancient warrior. The lunar shadow saber in his hand gave off a dazzling light, as he chopped at the red tongue with the force of rushing thunder. The lightning disappeared and the light faded away. The forest was once again engulfed in darkness. When the people below saw that Xiao Clan disciple falling from the sky, they quickly went forward to catch him. This Xiao Clan disciple was named Yilan. He had relied on his strength to steadily climb up the ranks of the Xiao Clan's core disciples. He had cultivated in Seven-Horn Mountain for a long time, fighting against all sorts of sinister spirit beasts, and seeing all sorts of horrifying spirit beasts. His mental fortitude was incomparably strong. However, at this moment he seemed to be scared silly. After he was caught by someone, the horrified expression on his face did not fade away for a long time. Yilan, what did you see? Where is Xiao Chen? That's right, where is cousin Xiao Chen? Why is he not back yet? Xiao Yulan asked anxiously from the side. However, these people did not have any flying martial techniques, so they were unable to see what was happening. After a long time, Yilan slowly came to his senses. He said, "How terrifying. That is a rank 2 spirit beast fire lizard demonic transformation. I have killed many of them in Seven-Horn Mountain. However, I have never seen such a huge fire lizard. Its entire body is emitting a surging black chi. Its huge scarlet eyes are even more horrifying than the Lizard King in Seven-Horn Mountain." When everyone heard his description, they were all startled. They had not gone far, and they had already met such a horrifying demonic beast. Furthermore, it was only a rank 2 demonic beast. When they thought of the rest of the journey, they were all startled. Cousin Xiaochun went to save you. Why is he not back yet? Xiao Yulan asked anxiously. A look of shame flashed on Yi Lan's face. He did not expect Xiaochun to save him. He said awkwardly, I only saw a flash and then I fell. Xiao Yulan said anxiously, I want to go and take a look. Don't go yet. Look at that piece of tongue that fell off. Xiao Jian, who had been silent all this while, suddenly said. The half of Wu Yu's tongue was over a meter long, and large amounts of purple liquid were flowing out of the wound. Everyone the demonic beast, the purple blood. Everyone of the blood. The Chung clan. He blood he it he. He the clan of he. He. This was not the scariest part. The bright red tongue seemed to have a life of its own as it twisted and struggled on the ground, as if it was trying to escape from something even more terrifying. Everyone had a horrified expression on their faces. No one had ever seen such a strange thing. For a moment, they were dumbstruck and extremely shocked. Suddenly, a face appeared on the tree trunk. It was a huge mouth. Black teeth could be seen in the mouth. Suddenly, a face appeared on the tree trunk. It was a huge mouth. Black teeth could be seen in the mouth. Chi. The huge mouth swallowed the tongue whole. It chewed continuously, as though it was tasting a delicacy. Squeaking sounds could be heard continuously. It's a tree spirit. A tree spirit is already a rank 3 demonic beast. We have only walked such a short distance. How did we meet it? Someone recognized the horrifying tree spirit and shouted, Let's go quickly. This tree spirit is not something we can deal with now. Once it finishes eating, it will be our turn, Xiao Jian said calmly. Right. Let's go quickly. This is a rank 3 demonic beast. It is equivalent to a martial grand master. Xiao Yulan's expression was incomparably anxious. She said, We can't leave. Cousin Xiaochun is still up there. If we leave, what will happen to him? First senior sister, Cousin Xiaochun's strength is clear for all to see. He will definitely be fine. On the other hand, it is too dangerous for us to stay here. Many of them wanted to retreat. Just at this moment, the tree spirit finally finished eating the red tongue. The gray eyes on the tree trunk stared at the crowd. It revealed a strange smile, like the face of a ghost. Not good, it has finished eating. We can't leave now. Xiao Jian quickly drew out the spirit weapon in his hand and entered a state of combat. Shua! Countless tree branches grabbed at the crowd like ghostly hands. Instantly, many of them were grabbed by the hands and feet and pulled towards the huge mouth. Xiao Jian calmly chopped away the few tree branches flying at him. Then, he ran towards the person who was grabbed by the tree branches. Along the way, there were tree branches flying at him. However, he chopped them all off. Xiao Yulan was doing the same thing as him. The other Xiao clan disciples were all struggling bitterly on the tree branches, unable to do anything else. Dang! After saving another person, Xiao Jian grabbed a tree branch that was flying at him. A ferocious flame surged out from his hand and spread along the tree trunk with a schwa sound. The flame of a cultivator was many times hotter than a normal flame. If it came into contact with a dry tree branch, it would definitely be burned to ashes in an instant. However, at this moment, Xiao Jian's flame could only burn along the surface of the tree spirit's branches. Although he could clearly feel the pain of the tree spirit, the damage caused by the flame was not small. After being strengthened by the rainbow flame python's inner core, Xiao Jian was somewhat dissatisfied. The strength of the flame did not meet his expectations. Cousin Yulan, we have to think of a way to break out of here. This tree spirit will not normally move. Xiao Jian chopped off a few more tree branches and frowned as he looked at the surrounding tree branches. Xiao Yulan looked at the sky helplessly. Her pretty face was filled with worry. Finally, she said, Let's work together to open a path. Let's send this group of people out first. Then I will come back. Xiao Jian did not say anything else. The two of them used their own abilities, displaying their strong martial techniques without holding anything back. The tree branches in front of them were all shattered. When the people behind saw the situation, they quickly followed behind them. In an instant, Tree branches flew everywhere and leaves fell. The group of people advanced forward with great difficulty. Although every step forward was incomparably difficult, they were still advancing step by step. Soon they were about to break through the range of the tree branches. Just as everyone was about to relax, countless tree branches suddenly sprouted from the ground. Like withered hands, they grabbed onto everyone's ankles and lifted them into the air. This tree spirit was too crafty. It had been using the tree branches on its body as a method of attack to numb everyone. Just as they were about to make a move, it suddenly used its trump card, causing everyone to fall for it. What should I do? Am I going to be eaten by this tree spirit? Whoa, I don't want to. A girl in the group suddenly cried. When the others heard this, they were all horrified. When they thought of the horrifying scene of the tree spirit swallowing the red tongue, their hearts could not help but tremble. Xiao Jian and Xiao Yulan continuously broke the tree branches under their feet. However, every time they were about to land on the ground, a few new tree branches would grow and grab onto them. In the end, the tree spirit seemed to know how powerful the two of them were. A few more tree branches flew out and grabbed onto their hands and feet. For a moment, they were suspended in the air, unable to move. TSK, TSK, TSK. When the tree spirit saw that everyone was under its control, it let out a strange laugh. When the crowd heard it, it was filled with boundless despair and fear. Meteor burst. Suddenly, a shout came from the sky above everyone's heads. A human figure descended from the sky. There seemed to be a faint image of a dragon on his body. Boom! There was an earth-shattering sound and mud flew everywhere. Underground, a large tree branch was chopped off by Xiaochen. A pool of purple blood spurted out. Xiaochen gently turned his body to avoid the blood. The tree spirit cried out in pain. The tree trunk writhed on the ground. As it writhed, the ground trembled. The Xiao clan cultivators who had just landed found it difficult to even stand on the trembling ground. Xiaochen took advantage of this opportunity to leave the ground. With a few schwa-schwa sounds, he chopped off a few of the larger branches of the tree spirit. A few streams of purple blood spurted out. The tree spirit was clearly in even more pain, and the trembling of the shop became even more intense. Bang! Xiaochen circulated his strength to his feet and stomped down fiercely. The trembling ground under his feet suddenly calmed down. The might of this stomp completely suppressed the tree spirit, and the ground finally stopped trembling. Purple thunder true fire shoot. 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 The flames hovering between his fingers spun rapidly. Then, 3 purple flames shot into the trunk of the tree spirit, leaving a trail of flames behind them. The tree spirit's cries of pain reverberated in the forest, causing one's heart to tremble in fear. Xiaochen turned around and said to the crowd, "Leave quickly. I will bring up the rear. We must rush to the Xiao clan campsite marked on the map by tonight. There is something strange about this gloomy forest." When the crowd heard this, they quickly retreated. When Xiao Jian saw the purple thunder true fire that Xiaochen shot out, he had an extremely depressed expression on his face. However, he still followed the crowd and retreated. "Cousin Xiaochen, be careful." Xiao Yulan saw that Xiaochen was fine and felt relieved. The tree spirit finally stopped wailing. The brown eyes on the ghastly face stared at Xiaochen viciously. The tree branch that Xiaochen chopped off started to regrow quickly. 2. A withered yellow tree branch shot out from the mouth of the ghastly face. The end of the tree branch turned into 5 slender fingers, grabbing at Xiaochen like a ghostly hand. Dang! Dang! Xiaochen brandished his saber to block. When the lunar shadow saber came into contact with the tree branch, it actually gave off a metallic clanging sound. The tree branch was actually not chopped off by the lunar shadow saber. Flight on wings, one-line chop. The simple saber hacked heavily on the withered yellow tree branch. The ghostly hand was chopped off by Xiaochen, but after a while, another ghostly hand extended out. Xiaochen was astonished. He did not want to be entangled with this. The tree spirit was extremely strange. It was hard to say what other moves it had. He retreated a few steps and executed the lightning evasion to escape. An electric light flashed and Xiaochen's figure appeared 500 meters away. He relaxed in his heart and was about to determine the direction to look for Xiao Yulan and the others. A shockwave came from behind. Xiao Chen's heart trembled, and he quickly dodged to the left. Chi! A tree branch pierced through his arm. Xiao Chen cried out in pain, and broke out in a cold sweat. If he had not dodged in time, this tree branch would have pierced through his heart. No one had expected the attack speed of the tree spirit to be able to catch up to lightning. Chapter 65. Looking at the bloody hole in his left hand, Xiao Chen took a deep breath. It seemed like his left hand was temporarily crippled. Taking out a blood-replenishing pill, Xiao Chen crushed it and turned it into a medicinal liquid. Then he smeared it on his wound. Immediately, he felt a cooling sensation, and the pain from his wound lessened significantly. After tearing a piece of cloth from his clothes and tying it up, Xiao Chen walked forward in search of the tree branch that had shot at him. After walking 10 meters, he saw that after the tree branch pierced through his arm, it pierced through a few trees before finally nailing itself to a large tree. Xiao Chen used his strength to pull it out, and observed it carefully. He discovered that this withered tree branch was only as thick as a thumb, and was not more than a meter long. However, it gave off a faint glow. Feeling astonished, Xiao Chen enveloped the tree branch with his spiritual sense. Finally, he noticed something different. This tree branch contained even more spirituality than Mo Fan's weapons. Thinking about a spell in the compendium of cultivation, it required such a natural item with spirituality. Xiao Chen happily placed it in his universe ring. After he determined the direction in which Xiao Yulan and the others left, he executed the lightning evasion twice in a row, before he finally caught sight of them. "Cousin Xiao Chen, what's wrong with your left hand?" Before he got close, he saw Xiao Yulan running over from the crowd and asking with concern. Xiao Chen smiled and said, "It's nothing, it's just a small injury. It will be fine in a day. Let's go, I'll bring you to the Xiao clan campsite." This time, no one dared to refute Xiao Chen's words. Along the way, no one revealed any dissatisfaction. After the earlier incident, Xiao Chen had completely won over the prestige of this group of people. For the rest of the journey, Xiao Chen kept his spiritual sense extended. When he met any demonic beasts, he would avoid them. There were no battles along the way. After 2 hours, the group finally arrived at the Xiao clan campsite. This campsite was a simple one that the Xiao clan seniors had set up for experiential training. There were only 3 simple wooden huts in the camp. Although they were simple, they had all kinds of daily necessities. It couldn't be any better as a place for everyone to live and rest for the next few days. His divine sense didn't detect any danger in the camp, so Xiao Chen said, "Everyone, clean up the camp first. I haven't been here for so long. The dust must have accumulated." The crowd dispersed. These cultivators were the elites of the younger generation of the Xiao clan. At this moment, they were not careless in their actions. Xiao Chen was much more satisfied. "Ah, there's a dead person here." A scream interrupted Xiao Chen's thoughts. Xiao Chen quickly ran over. The deceased was an old man wearing the uniform of the Tang clan. Xiao Chen frowned slightly. Why did a cultivator of the Tang clan come here? The condition of the old man's death was very horrifying. His chest was split open, and his heart and lungs were gone. It seemed like he was eaten by a demon beast. No wonder the people who saw the corpse were so panicked. Xiao Jian, who was inspecting the corpse, said, "This person is a martial grand master. Furthermore, he has not been dead for long." Everyone was astonished. Why did a martial grand master of the Tang clan come to the Xiao clan's camp? Furthermore, he was killed. A martial grand master was actually killed in the periphery of the camp. This was too unbelievable. "Quick look. There's a corpse here as well." There was another cry of alarm. This corpse was discovered in a wooden hut. Xiao Chen moved like lightning and rushed over. The condition of the corpse was exactly the same as the previous one. When Xiao Chen saw his uniform, he was astonished. This was someone from the Zhang clan. Furthermore, he was a martial grand master. All the clues in Xiao Chen's mind were linked together. A scene appeared in Xiao Chen's mind. Before the trial of Gloomy Forest started, 2 martial grand masters sneaked into the Xiao clan's camp. With the cultivation of a martial grand master, they could easily kill everyone here. However, for some unknown reason, these 2 martial grand masters were killed by demonic beasts. Thinking of this, Xiao Chun trembled in fear. In order to kill him, the Tang clan and the Zhang clan even dared to go against the rules set by the city lord. What else would they not dare to do? However, I want to see how many martial grand masters you send to die, Xiao Chun thought to himself. Everyone worked together to find a place to bury the two corpses. The main reason was that they were afraid the corpses would attract even more powerful demonic beasts. When they saw the two martial grand masters who died a miserable death, a shadow was cast in everyone's heart. Following that, under Xiao Chun's instructions, everyone started to set up some alarm traps around the camp. Everyone had the experience of training in Seven Horn Mountain, so they were very familiar with setting up such traps. It was not difficult at all. Yilan, come with me to check out the surroundings. We will officially start hunting demonic beasts tomorrow, Xiao Chun said to Yilan, who was leaning against a tree, after resting for a while. Yilan did not feel like moving. He muttered, "Why me?" Xiao Chun smiled, "Let's go." Along the way, didn't you keep saying that you wanted to kill demonic beasts? Now that I'm giving you a chance to perform, are you still not satisfied? When everyone heard this, they all laughed. They felt that this brat was asking for trouble. He could only blame himself for being too full of himself on the way. Xiao Chun, let me accompany you. Your left hand is injured. If you meet any demonic beasts along the way, they might not be easy to deal with, Xiao Yulan said as she came out of the wooden hut. Xiao Chun shook his head. There's no need. This camp is a little strange. You are the strongest here, so you should stay here and look after me. My hand is fine. Furthermore, we are just going to check it out. There should not be any danger. Hearing Xiao Chun say this, Xiao Yulan did not insist. She only reminded him to be careful. Although Yilan was unwilling, he still followed behind Xiao Chun, heading to the south of the camp. In the dark forest, the shadows of the trees danced and the cold wind blew. Unseen dangers were always hidden in the darkness. As Yilan followed behind Xiao Chun, he kept feeling that there were pairs of eyes staring at him from the darkness, causing him to tremble in fear. Yilan looked at Xiao Chun's face. He was expressionless, making it impossible for others to guess what he was thinking. In the dark night, Yilan appeared exceptionally calm. Pussy Eye. A red phantom appeared in the darkness, heading for the two of them. A tyrannical aura spread through the forest, scaring Yilan into a daze. It's the fire lizard. This is its tongue. Yilan, who had already developed a shadow of this demonic beast, started to tremble as he spoke. Under Yilan's astonished gaze, Xiao Chun grabbed the red tongue with his right hand. An electric light flashed in the dark night, following the red tongue and entering the fire lizard's body. The long tongue was covered in flickering electric light. In the dark night, it looked like a ribbon of electricity made of thunderbolts. It was very breathtaking. Ah, there was a cry of pain. The fire lizard withdrew its long tongue and let out a cry of pain. It was extremely horrifying in the quiet forest. What are you standing there for? After it. Xiao Chun rushed forward. Before he left, he looked at Yilan and urged him. Yilan nodded his head fiercely and chased after Xiao Chun. The fire lizard's 20-meter-long body was covered in red particles. A black chi spread out from the fire lizard's body. Its 10-meter-long tail continuously slapped the ground. A pair of scarlet eyes stared at Xiao Chun and Yilan, who were rushing over. The scene before him triggered the shadow in Yilan's heart again. His legs trembled as he said, "Xiao Chun, can you deal with it?" "My legs seem to have gone soft." Xiao Chun smiled coldly. "Is this all you've got? Then why did you come here to kill demonic beasts? Where did all the courage you used to fight to become a core disciple of the Xiao clan go? I have already infused electricity into its body. It will not be able to move for a while. If you are a man, then go and stab it with your sword." Because of what happened earlier, Yilan had already cast a huge shadow over demonic beasts. Hence, Xiao Chun brought him out this time to get rid of this shadow. Otherwise, if Yilan continued to be like this in the official trials, not only would he die, he would also be a burden to the other members. At this moment, Xiao Chun only needed to stab him to get rid of this shadow. But what? You don't even have the guts to do that? If not, I will send you out of Gloomy Forest tomorrow. You can continue being an outer disciple, never to raise your head again. Is it really not able to move? Yilan, are you still a man? Even women are not as wishy-washy as you, hesitating at the moment of life and death. Do you really want to die that much? Xiao Chen's merciless words were like sharp knives carving into Yilan's heart, slowly igniting the anger in his heart. Damn it, isn't it just a fire lizard? I have killed countless of them on Seven-Horn Mountain. Yilan shouted and cursed. He flew forward and stabbed his sword into the fire lizard's body. The force behind this stab was very strong. Furthermore, he was a superior grade martial disciple. When the sword stabbed in, purple blood spurted out and splattered on his face. The fire lizard cried out in pain again and struggled free of the purple light in its body. It released a baleful aura and swung its huge tail at Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen was startled and wanted to make a move to help. However, he saw a killing intent flash in Yilan's eyes, which were also filled with a baleful aura. Yilan turned around and ruthlessly chopped at the black python's tail. Dang! The huge force sent Yilan flying into the air. However, he did not panic. He somersaulted in the air and landed firmly on the ground. He held his sword and stood upright, looking at the fire lizard with a mocking expression. The long robes on Yilan's body fluttered. At this moment, even the eternal darkness of gloomy deep forest could not cover the boundless fighting spirit coming from Yilan. Xiao Chen smiled faintly and revealed a satisfied expression. This Yilan was not weak after all. As long as he overcame the shadow in his heart, it would not be a problem for him to deal with the fire lizard. However, it was hard to say whether he could kill it or not. However, Xiao Chen was not too worried. As long as they familiarized themselves with it and experienced life and death situations, everyone would improve. This was the true meaning of the trial. To experience the true essence of the martial way. This was the fate of all the cultivators in the Tianwu continent. It was also their goal. Man can conquer the heavens. My fate is my own and not the heavens. Towards the great Tao. Even if the road ahead is filled with thorns, I have no fear. With a sword at my side, I will carry the will of a cultivator and never stop. Such a life would not be ordinary and useless. Life would not be mediocre because of loneliness. Just like those people who chased after their ideals in his previous life. Although their paths were different, the great Tao was the same. If you had a firm belief in your heart, you would definitely have a bright and dazzling future. Chapter 66. Martial Technique Broken Moon. The fire lizard's tail swept towards Yilan again. Yilan soared into the air and executed the yellow-ranked martial technique, Broken Moon. With a schwa sound, the fire lizard's tail was chopped off. Pussy! The fire lizard roared in pain. Its long, red tongue was like a phantom as it flew towards Yilan. Yilan could not dodge in time, and was caught by the tongue once again. However, this time he did not panic. Just as the tongue was about to drag him into the fire lizard's mouth, Yilan chopped off the fire lizard's tongue with his sword. After he landed on the ground, he quickly rolled far away. Purple thunder true fire shoot. At this moment, Xiao Chen also made his move. A purple flame revolved around his fingertip. It gave off a piercing sound as it shot towards the fire lizard. Boom! There was a huge explosion in the fire lizard's mouth. Although the fire lizard was badly mangled, it did not die from the explosion. The black qi on its body wriggled continuously, and the wound on its head quickly healed. However, the purple flame that Xiao Chen had left in its body did not give it the chance to heal completely. With a thought, the essence in his body was greatly depleted. A huge purple flame soared up from the fire lizard's body. The flame and the black qi intertwined. The fire lizard rolled on the ground in pain. Suddenly, the black qi surged and forced out all of Xiao Chen's purple flame. The wound on its body healed once again. However, Xiao Chen was not surprised. He had already killed a fire lizard before, and had a certain understanding of it. That black qi was the demonic qi from the demonic world. It was very strange and evil. At this moment, although the fire lizard had already forced out all of its purple flames, the flesh on its body was not as tough as before. It could be easily pierced through. Flight on wings, one-line chop. A simple saber strike landed ruthlessly on the back of the fire lizard. Under the huge force, the fire lizard was chopped in half. A large amount of black qi and purple blood flowed out. However, the flesh and blood on the torso, that had been chopped off, actually began to reconnect. It was as if there were thin threads that made zzz sounds. This demonic beast's life force was too strong. The two of them did not hesitate, and continued to attack. From the start, the internal organs of this demonic beast were injured by Xiao Chen's lightning. Then, Yilong cut off its tail and tongue. Finally, it was burned by the purple thunder true fire. At this point, it was already an arrow at the end of its flight. Under the relentless attacks of the two of them, the Yao beast was finally killed after 10 minutes. It could not be any more dead. The ground was littered with the remains of the fire lizards. The pieces of flesh gave off a black demonic qi, looking very strange. Xiao Chen could not be bothered with these. After he dug out the demonic core from the demonic beast's head, he burned it until there was nothing left. Xiao Chen, thank you. Yilong looked at Xiao Chen and said sincerely. He was not stupid. He had already guessed the reason why Xiao Chen brought him out. Xiao Chen smiled faintly and said, "It's nothing. Since we are together, we are comrades. Furthermore, I promised the first elder that I would bring you back alive. I will credit you for this Yao core. Let's go, we will continue to check. We still have to walk another 500 meters in this direction." Yilong was very happy in his heart. For a disciple with a different surname like him, as long as he made enough contributions in the Xiao clan, he would be bestowed the surname of the Xiao clan. At that time, he would become a true core disciple of the Xiao clan. The results of this trial of refinement were undoubtedly an important opportunity for them to gain merit. Furthermore, Xiao Chun was now their invigilator, in charge of their results for this trial of refinement. After the two of them walked another 500 meters, they discovered that in this direction, aside from the fire lizard, there was also a demonic beast that looked like a leopard and a scarlet tail snake. Of the two types of demonic beasts, the two of them killed one each. Then they noted down their weaknesses and some things that they needed to pay attention to. After that, the two of them checked out the other three directions. They had to either test out or kill each type of demonic beast, of which, the two of them marked the north and east as dangerous areas that they could not enter. This was because there were rank 3 demonic beasts hidden there. There were even rank 4 demonic beasts. They were far from being able to deal with them. If they went, they would only be sending themselves to their deaths. After doing all this, the two of them returned to the campsite. According to the time outside, it was already evening. At this moment, the temperature in gloomy forest had become even colder. "You are back," a Xiao clan cultivator, who was standing guard at the side, said excitedly when he saw that the two of them had returned safely. A bonfire was lit in the middle of the campsite, and the remaining people gathered around it to keep warm. Although cultivators could use essence to ward off the cold, the amount of essence that they would expend in the long run would definitely cause them to feel heartache. Before Xiao Chen got close, he could already hear the sounds of an argument coming from the bonfire. He could not help but quicken his pace. "Cousin Xiao Chen, you are finally back. Are you all right?" Xiao Yulan stood up and asked with concern. "What's the situation outside? Tell us about it." "That's right. Are there many demonic beasts?" Everyone started talking at the same time. Xiao Chen smiled faintly. "Don't panic. Later, Yilan will explain it to you in detail." "I heard you guys arguing earlier. What were you talking about?" A female cultivator said. "They said that they want everyone to sleep in the same wooden hut tonight. We do not agree." Xiao Chen looked in the direction she pointed and understood which group she was referring to. There were a total of 10 people in this trial. Including him, there were 6 men and 4 women. Naturally, the ones who agreed were the men, or rather the boys. The ones who objected were the girls. Xiao Yulan explained. "Of the 3 wooden huts, one is a storeroom. The other 2 are the bedrooms, and the other is a place for cooking." "Second young master, there is only 1 wooden hut. If we don't sleep together, how are we supposed to sleep together? Furthermore, the beds are separated. What is there to be afraid of? The most important thing is that we are all very pure," a male cultivator said with a smile. "That's right, we are all pure. This group of women is too dirty. What do they think we are? I am already 18 years old, but I am still a virgin. I have not even done XX before. That's right, you are all virgins. That is why it is even more dangerous. You have been thirsty for more than 10 years. Who knows if you will be able to endure it? A rather valiant girl said. Xiao Chen recognized her. She was called Xiao Ling, the precious daughter of the second elder. She was one of the top beauties in the Xiao clan. However, she was usually weird and always caused trouble. We have already endured it for 18 years. How can we endure it for a few more days? Xiao Ling, you are looking down on us too much. You are slandering our purity. Stop. Xiao Chen felt that the topic was getting more and more out of hand. He quickly called for a stop and turned to Xiao Jian. Xiao Jian, what do you think? Ever since Xiao Jian returned after losing to Zhang he seemed to have changed into a different person. He no longer had his usual high profile and rarely spoke. Hearing Xiao Chen ask him, Xiao Jian was stunned for a while before saying, I feel that it is better for us to stay together. First young master is indeed wise, someone immediately said from behind. Xiao Jian smiled faintly and said, There is only one wooden hut with a bed and space. If you want to stay separately, we will have to empty out the storehouse. That way, we will have no place to store the demonic cores and demonic beast corpses we found. The most important thing is, did you forget the 2 martial Grand Master corpses we encountered when we first arrived? This place is very dangerous, extremely dangerous. It is best to stay together and take care of each other, Xiao Jian said with a serious expression. Xiao Jian's words made sense. This place was indeed a little strange. He turned his gaze to Xiao Yulan and said, Cousin Yulan, what do you think? The fiery red bonfire shone on Xiao Yulan's jade-like face, making it look extremely hot. Xiao Chen took a few glances, and felt as though he was about to sink into it. He quickly withdrew his thoughts. Feeling Xiao Chen's gaze, Xiao Yulan smiled tactfully, making her look even more beautiful. The few Xiao clan disciples were all stunned when they saw this. I also agree with Xiao Jian's opinion. However, we need to use a curtain to separate the bedrooms. After all, it is not good for a girl to be in the same room as a boy. After this compromise was agreed upon, Xiao Chen got Yilan to explain the surrounding situation to everyone. He explained the distribution and weaknesses of the various demonic beasts in detail. Finally, Xiao Chen said, Tomorrow, I have decided to split into 2 groups. One group will go to the south, and the other group will go to the west. I will be in charge of the south. I will leave the west to Xiao Jian. Yilan will go with you as well. No one had any objections to this arrangement. After chatting for a while, Xiao Chen made arrangements for the night watch, and everyone went their separate ways. After the crowd dispersed, only Xiao Yulan and Xiao Chen remained by the bonfire. At this moment, gloomy forest was incomparably cold. Occasionally, strange roars could be heard coming from the distance. After the crowd dispersed, the bustling scene disappeared. The cold wind blew gently, and the terrifying roars of demonic beasts could be heard. All of this would cause a normal person to be terrified. Xiao Chen looked at the sky. The lush leaves covered the sky completely. He could only see the faint starlight through the small gaps in the leaves. Such a scene caused Xiao Chen to recall the camping activities of his university in his previous life. The scene seemed to be similar. There were both males and females, a group of youths full of vigor. However, it was impossible for demonic beasts to exist there. If one was not careful, their lives would be in danger, and they would end up being eaten by demonic beasts. Everyone knew the dangers of experiential training. However, since ancient times, cultivators had all thrown themselves into it without hesitation, searching for the end of this path. However, are there really martial gods in this world? Xiao Chen's gaze pierced through the boundless dark night, looking at the sky as he thought to himself in a daze. Cousin Xiao Chen, what are you thinking about? Xiao Yulan, who was at the side, asked softly. The flickering light of the fire made Xiao Yulan's beautiful face look extremely alluring. Xiao Chen smiled faintly. The people of the world are tireless, tempering themselves between life and death, searching for the great way of martial arts. However, at the end of this path, is there really a martial god? When Xiao Yulan heard this, she shook her head and sighed. That's right. Everyone knows that the end of martial arts is the martial god. However, our great Qin nation has hundreds of thousands of kilometers of territory and thousands of capable people. On the surface, there are only 10 martial monarchs. The most recent martial sage was something that happened 500 years ago. In my opinion, aside from the 3 Orthodox Holy Lands, the most likely place to have a martial god is the Great Jin Dynasty, Xiao Yulan added. In the Sky Martial Continent, other than the countless small kingdoms and chaotic lands, the Qin Kingdom, Shu Kingdom, Tang Kingdom, Xia Kingdom, and Jin Kingdom were the 5 strongest empires. Among them, the Great Jin Kingdom had the largest spiritual vein in the world, and its power was comparable to the other 2 empires combined. What Xiao Yulan said was not wrong. That place was the place with the most spiritual energy. The number of experts, there was also the highest in the continent. Just at this moment, a mournful scream came from the east of the camp. This scream was extremely miserable, as though it was suffering from the most horrifying punishment in the world. Xiao Chen pressed down on Xiao Yulan, who was about to get up, and said, "Don't go, I'll go take a look first. If there is any danger, immediately send out the signal that the first elder left behind." Xiao Yulan wanted to say something, but Xiao Chen said with a serious expression, "You know about the situation in Seven Horn Mountain. No matter how dangerous the situation is, I have no problems protecting myself." Chapter 67. Xiao Chen headed to the east of the camp. The further he went, the more intense the mournful cries became. When he was about 400 meters away from the source of the sound, Xiao Chen stopped. He condensed his spiritual sense into a thread and slowly extended it forward. When it was 200 meters away, Xiao Chen felt like his spiritual sense was blocked by something. Pusi. Xiao Chen concentrated and turned his spiritual sense into a sharp sword, slowly breaking through the barrier. After a long time, his spiritual sense finally arrived at the source of the sound with much difficulty. In the forest in front, a martial grand master, wearing the uniform of the Tang clan, was lying on the ground. There was a huge black bird in front of him, pecking at his internal organs. Xiao Chen frowned slightly and looked up. There was a black figure floating in the air. He was darker than the night, as deep as a black hole. Although it was very strange, Xiao Chen could feel a sense of weakness from his body. This person should have been severely injured. "After hiding for 3 days, I have finally found you." Xiao Chen heard that person laughing. The laughter sounded like it came from hell in the dark night. It was very gloomy. Suddenly, a strand of black qi entered Xiao Chen's body from the body of the cultivator on the ground. An expression of extreme enjoyment appeared on his face. It was as though the strange bird pecking at his internal organs was a delicacy to him. Xiao Chen could even feel that the injuries on his body improved significantly as he breathed in the black qi. To think that he could actually rely on sucking the internal organs of others to recover from his injuries. This was simply unbelievable. When the black qi dissipated, the Tang clan cultivator on the ground was completely silent. That huge black bird flew to the feet of the black-clothed person in an instant. Xiao Chen was greatly astonished. He was sure that this huge bird was a demonic beast. This black-clothed person was actually able to control a demonic beast. This was simply unheard of. I thought it was a dead end, but I didn't expect to encounter such nourishment. This king is really surprised. The black-clothed man stood on the giant bird and laughed. Suddenly, his expression became serious. His eyes emitted a profound light as he stood against Xiao Chen's strand of divine sense. It was as if he could see through Xiao Chen's invisible divine sense. Xiao Chen quickly spread out his spiritual sense and turned it into a small sword. He circled around a large tree and secretly observed that person. After that person saw it clearly, he seemed to recall something terrifying, and his face revealed an expression of extreme fear. Riding on the giant black bird, he left in a sorry state, as if he was fleeing. Its speed was as fast as black lightning, and it left countless black afterimages in the forest. In an instant, it left the observation range of Xiao Chen's divine sense. Xiao Chen did not dare to advance rashly. Only after that person had left for a long time did Xiao Chun slowly arrive in front of the Tang clan cultivator. His state of death was exactly the same as the two people he found in the campsite earlier. It seemed like he had died under the pecking of the giant black bird. This person was able to easily kill 3 martial grandmasters, despite being heavily injured. What kind of horrifying realm was this? Xiao Chun felt terrified just thinking about it. No matter what, this strange black-clothed man had indirectly helped Xiao Chun to get rid of a problem. Otherwise, if 3 martial grand masters appeared to kill them at the same time, they would not have been able to defend against them. Recollecting his thoughts, Xiao Chun ignored the corpses on the ground and quickly returned to the campsite. Facing Xiao Yulan's interrogation, Xiao Chun temporarily hid this matter. He felt that this matter was too strange. There was actually someone who could control demonic beasts. Before Xiao Chun figured out what was going on, he decided not to tell anyone about it. In the middle of the night, the two of them called for someone to change shifts. After resting for 4 hours, the sky was already bright. Of course, it was the color of the sky outside. Within gloomy forest, it was still dark. Visibility was not much better than at night, but it was not as cold. Xiao Chun moved his left hand around. Under the effects of the blood-replenishing pill, he felt that there were no major problems. His essence could flow smoothly, but he was temporarily unable to perform any high-intensity movements. The other people in the wooden hut were still asleep. There was no sunlight shining in to wake them up, so they were all sleeping soundly. Xiao Chun woke everyone up. After washing up, they started to prepare to split up. When they were splitting up, Xiaoling expressed that she wanted to be in Xiao Chun's group. There were even a few others who expressed the same opinion. This gave Xiao Chun a headache. In the end, he decided to split Xiao Yulan and Xiao Jian into the same group. This way, the average strength of both groups would be about the same. In the end, Xiaoling still ended up in Xiao Chun's group. Xiao Chun led the other 4 and headed south of the camp. He decided to start with the fire salamanders. This was because he had killed quite a few of them before, so he already had some experience. Xiao Chun extended his spiritual sense and quickly found a fire salamander on a big tree. Stop for a while. Xiao Chun called out to everyone to stop. Elder brother Xiao Chun, why are we stopping? Is there a demonic beast? Where is it? Xiaoling asked in a strange manner. Her eyes looked around, searching everywhere. Xiao Chun smiled. Stop looking, it's above your head. When Xiaoling heard this, she was startled and took a few steps back. Xiao Chun raised his head and looked at the intertwining tree branches above his head. The complicated tree branches made the sky look very mysterious, making it impossible to see through them. This was gloomy forest. Aside from the dangers coming from all directions, one had to pay attention to the top of one's head at all times. The smile on Xiao Chun's face disappeared as he said, "All of you step back a little." After he spoke, he disappeared from his original spot. There was an electric light in the darkness. They could vaguely see Xiao Chun holding the lunar shadow saber as he leaped around the trees. When the electric light disappeared, the forest returned to darkness once again. The 4 people below could not even see a hazy silhouette. All they could see were the dancing tree branches drifting in the air. Boom! There was a loud sound coming from the sky. A huge creature descended from the sky, causing the ground to tremble. The 4 people on the ground quickly retreated. Xiao Chun stood on a tree branch and did not descend immediately. He smiled at everyone and said, "It's time to see your performance. Don't be careless, you might die." Before the 4 people below could reply, the fire salamander had already stabilized itself. When it saw the 4 of them, it immediately shifted its aggro and swept its tail at them. The 4 of them quickly scattered, and a red phantom headed for Xiaoling. It was like a red ribbon in the air. Its speed was extremely fast. What surprised Xiao Chun was that Xiaoling, who usually looked weird, actually reacted very quickly. She pushed her feet off the ground and nimbly dodged the attack. In the instant she turned around, Xiaoling even made a cut on her red tongue. However, this fire salamander was clearly stronger than the one Xiao Chun had met before. Its tongue was very tough. Xiaoling's spirit weapon was unable to break it. The 4 of them fled in all directions as they were chased by the fire salamander. They cursed Xiao Chun in their hearts. He was too despicable. Many of them regretted being on the same team as Xiao Chun. None of them thought that Xiao Chun would ignore them after luring the fire salamander down. This caused those who wanted to ride on his coattails to feel regret. Time slowly went by. Something that made the four of them vomit blood happened. Xiao Chun took out a bottle of wine from his universe ring and started drinking from it. Xiao Chun, you are too despicable. You saw us being chased around so miserably, yet you did not make a move to help. Finally, someone below could not help but curse. That's right. Elder brother Xiao Chun, you are too ruthless. Originally Ling liked you a little. Now I hate you. Xiao Ling said fiercely as she pouted. Xiao Chun did not reply. He revealed a faint smile on his face. After the initial panic, the four of them slowly regained their rhythm. The fire salamander was left with wounds of varying severity. The four of them had also been struck by the fire salamander's tail a few times. Two of them even had blood trickling out from the corner of their mouths. However, Xiao Chun still did not make a move. This was their experiential training. If they relied on him, it would be meaningless. The pinnacle of martial arts was comprehended between life and death. One could not rely on others. Bang! Once again Xiaoling could not dodge in time. She was struck by the fire salamander's huge tail. She vomited a mouthful of blood. Xiao Chun could not bear to see her like this. However, something unexpected happened to Xiao Chun. This little girl actually did not make a sound. Her pretty face was filled with determination. She did not have her usual mischievous look. Martial technique, clear wind breaking clouds chop. Xiao Ling actually executed a martial technique in the air. This was unbelievable. The sword in her hand was like a clear wind breaking clouds. With a flash of white light, she chopped the fire salamander's tail in half. Xiao Ling landed firmly on the ground and wiped off the blood from the corner of her mouth. She made a funny face at Xiao Chun, who was on the tree. This caused Xiao Chun to not know whether to laugh or cry. Shwa! Another person erupted. He actually chopped off the fire salamander's biggest weapon, the scarlet tongue. In an instant, the fire salamander's two main attacks were rendered useless. Everyone's morale immediately soared. Kill! 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 Everyone was in high spirits. They started to execute all their martial techniques. They expended their essence without a care for their lives. In an instant, this horrifying demonic beast was forced to retreat step by step, losing all its momentum. Seeing how badly you chased me earlier, I will definitely kill you today. One of the Shao clan cultivators, who had been struck twice by the fire salamander's tail, said ruthlessly. Just as the fire salamander was about to die, an ice arrow flashing with a cold light suddenly flew over from the distance. It struck the fire salamander with a schwa sound. A cold chi spread out from the fire salamander's body. The black chi on its body was completely expelled. In an instant, the fire salamander's entire body turned into an ice sculpture. The cold chi was overwhelming. Everyone was startled. They did not understand what had happened. Bang! Xiao Chun leaped down from the tree and shot out a strand of purple flame. It clashed with the second ice arrow coming from the distance, resulting in an intense explosion. The ice dissipated into nothingness. However, the purple thunder true fire's momentum did not decrease. It continued to rush forward. Boom! After a while there was another explosion in front. The footsteps of a group of people slowly walked towards them. Chapter 68. The Tang Clan's people. That is Tang Feng. When that group of people got closer, Xiao Chun and the others quickly recognized them. There were also 5 people from the Tang clan. Tang Feng held a longbow that looked like ice crystals in his hand. When he was about 100 meters away from the group, he stopped. When he saw Xiao Chun, he was clearly stunned. After a long time he smiled and said, "So Brother Xiao is here. What a coincidence. I'm sorry, but we want the demonic core of this fire lizard." Hearing what he said, the few Xiao clan disciples behind Xiao Chun could not take it anymore. They had worked so hard for half a day, and this fellow wanted to snatch it from them. Was this acceptable? Xiao Ling frowned slightly and said mockingly, "If you have the guts, then put away your bow and arrows and come over to take a look." The remaining people also started to jeer. It was clear that they could tell that the ice crystal bow in Tang Feng's hand was not an ordinary item. Seeing how far away he was, it was clear that he was extremely cautious and meticulous. Tang Feng played with the ice crystal bow in his hand and revealed a faint smile on his face. He said, "Brother Xiao, your Xiao clan's people were beaten up by this fire lizard without being able to retaliate. I killed it with one arrow. It is not an exaggeration to say that I saved your lives. Giving me a small demonic core is not an overboard request." Very overboard. Xiao Chen could not be bothered to argue with him. He said indifferently, "If they did not severely injure this fire lizard, do you think you could kill it with one arrow? I do not wish to pursue the matter of you interrupting our experiential learning. Now don't try to argue in front of me. Leave immediately." Tang Feng's expression changed. He originally thought that Xiao Chen's group had already been dealt with by the elders of the Zhang clan and the Tang clan. He had only come here to meet with the elders of his clan. He did not expect Xiao Chen to be alive and well. Furthermore, he was doing fine. Tang Feng thought quickly and said coldly, "Xiao Chen, are you underestimating my strength? Do you dare to take 3 arrows from me? If you can, I'll leave immediately." "Receive? Why would I not dare? I can even receive 10 of your arrows. Would elder brother Xiao Chen be afraid of you?" Xiaoling Er's melodious voice answered Tang Feng before Xiao Chen could. "Big brother Xiao Chen, you have to do your best. Don't let this fellow be too arrogant." Xiaoling said to Xiao Chen in a cheeky manner. Xiao Chen rolled his eyes at her. It was obvious that this girl wanted to take revenge on him. She had just been beaten badly by the fire lizard. And now that she had found an opportunity to take revenge, she immediately seized it. Against a long-range attacker like Tang Feng, it was necessary to close the distance quickly and end the battle quickly, not giving him the chance to pull away. What he was doing now was undoubtedly the stupidest way to wait for others to shoot at him. "Xiao Chen, I won't shoot much, just 3 arrows. As long as you can receive 3 arrows from me, I'll leave immediately. Do you dare to agree?" Seeing that Xiao Chen did not say anything, Tang Feng used the lowest form of provocation. The moment Tang Feng appeared, Xiao Chen's spiritual sense did not leave the ice crystal bow in Tang Feng's hands. A cold qi flowed on the ice bow, and the surrounding ice-attributed spiritual energy gathered into it. This was obviously an ice-attributed spirit weapon. Furthermore, Tang Feng's martial spirit should also be an ice-attributed martial spirit. This allowed the ice bow to continuously absorb the surrounding ice-attributed spiritual energy. However, Xiao Chen was not afraid. This was because Tang Feng was only a peak superior grade martial disciple. Although he already had 1 foot in the martial master realm, he had yet to enter that realm. His own strength was limited, and he was unable to completely bring out the huge energy contained in the ice bow. Xiao Chen smiled indifferently. "Why wouldn't I dare to receive 3 arrows from you? I will receive them. Do you dare to receive 1 saber strike from me? Why would I not dare? I just don't know if you have the life to receive 3 arrows from me." Tang Feng laughed coldly. From his words, it was clear that he was very confident in the ice crystal bow in his hands. Tang Feng held the ice crystal bow in his hands, and his aura suddenly changed. He pulled the bowstring, and it was like a full moon. The surrounding cold qi poured into the bow like water, and a cold light shot out in all directions. Dots of ice moved like tadpoles, as though they had a life of their own. Xiao! The bowstring trembled, and the first ice arrow was shot out. It was like an icy rainbow, carrying a boundless cold qi as it flew towards Xiao Chen's throat. It gave off a woo-woo sound, as though an ice god was pouncing forward. Its might was incomparably vast. Dang! Xiao Chen's gaze was like water, and the lunar shadow saber in his hand suddenly lit up with an electric light. A crisp shattering sound rang out, and the ice arrow shattered into countless fragments. Hua! The fragments of ice in the air did not fall to the ground. Instead, they turned into a puddle of white water and condensed into another ice arrow in the air. Its speed doubled, and it arrived within a meter of Xiao Chen in an instant. Xiao Chen quickly retreated a few steps, and the energy of the demonic core in the lunar shadow saber was released. The electric light on the saber flickered non-stop, creating countless thunderbolts as he chopped down again. Dang! Dang! This time, The ice arrow turned into a puddle of water and fell to the ground. It was no longer able to maintain its might. When Xiaoling, who was at the side, saw the scene in front of her, she started to regret her actions. The ice bow in Tang Feng's hands was unbelievably strong. Tang Feng smiled coldly. I was wondering how strong you were. It turns out that you are not that strong. This is only the first arrow. There are still 2 more. Let's see how you receive them. Right after he spoke, Tang Feng drew the bowstring again. A cold qi rushed to the sky from the bow, and an ice arrow appeared. It was like the Arctic ice, piercing through the air and flying out. This arrow was so fast that it did not even leave an afterimage in the air. It was impossible for the naked eye to catch it. It was as if it really tore through the air, and suddenly appeared in front of Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun stretched out his right hand and pointed forward. The surging essence in his body flowed to his right hand like a river. There was a spark on his fingertip, and it was like a weak firefly in the dark night. Bang! When his fingertip and the ice arrow met, there was a loud explosion. Xiao Chun did not move at all. He frowned, and his fingertip and the ice arrow started to burn. Suddenly, Tang Feng's right hand moved gently on the bowstring. An invisible ripple, carrying a boundless cold qi, was infused into the ice arrow. Instantly, the pressure on Xiao Chun increased greatly, and he started to move his feet. Purple thunder true fire explode. Xiao Chun shouted, and an intense purple flame sprang up from the bottom of his feet. It instantly spread to the fingertip of his right hand, like the hand of a fire god. The firefly-like light instantly exploded into a ball. The boundless flame completely melted the ice arrow, turning it into a puddle of steam. Then it rose up from Xiao Chun's fingertip. Even in the cold weather of gloomy forest, this flame actually made one feel warm. This showed how high the temperature of the flame was. Xiao Linger said excitedly, Elder brother Xiao Chun, you are so powerful. Seeing the ice arrow turn into steam, Tang Feng's expression changed. He smiled coldly. Don't get too cocky. I still have one last arrow that I have not fired yet. Tang Feng drew the bowstring again. A bright light appeared on his right hand. The entire ice bow also gave off a resplendent light. Countless ice-attributed spiritual energy in the surroundings quickly gathered on his right hand. A cold light filled the sky behind him. It was like a frost nova, dotted with stars. In the darkness, there was an indescribable sense of magnificence. The surrounding temperature suddenly dropped significantly. Xiao Chun extended his spiritual sense and saw a huge bird behind Tang Feng. This bird's body was very strange. Half of it was ice, and the other half was actually a blazing flame. Xiao Chun was startled. He suddenly thought of the matter of Tang Feng auctioning the 7-colored flame python inner core in Linlang. It was obvious that Tang Feng was using it to raise his fire-attributed attacks. However, the 2 arrows that Tang Feng shot out, and the 3rd arrow that he was about to shoot, were clearly ice-attributed. What was going on? The most important thing was that Xiao Chun could clearly feel that Tang Feng's strength had risen to the martial master realm. What was going on? Could it be that he had been suppressing his cultivation? Go, Frost's Fury! In Xiao Chun's spiritual sense, the portion of the ice within the huge ice fire bird dimmed significantly. The frost behind Tang Feng vanished, and a sharp arrow formed on the bowstring. That arrow grew in size as the wind blew. Not long after, it became an ice arrow that was tens of meters long. Everywhere the ice arrow passed, a cold wind blew. Traces of fog spread out from it. As time passed, the horrifying ice arrow actually grew larger. The few people behind Xiao Chun all cried out in surprise. Xiao Ling was so frightened that she closed her eyes, not daring to see what was going to happen next. This ice arrow was incomparably huge, but its speed was not slow at all. It was not inferior to the previous 2 arrows. It was only because of its continuously growing size that everyone could see it with their eyes. When the ice arrow pressed down, a boundless cold qi spread out. Xiao Chun felt that his legs seemed to have stiffened. This way his speed would decrease significantly. It would be very difficult for him to dodge this arrow. You know how to borrow the might of a spirit weapon. Do you think I don't? Xiao Chun smiled coldly in his heart. Xiao Chun swung the lunar shadow saber with all his might. The power of the rank 6 lightning-attributed demonic core was released at full force. A boundless electric light lit up in the dark night. It was resplendent and dazzling. The lightning attributed spiritual energy in the surroundings poured into the lunar shadow saber unceasingly. The electric light formed countless thunderbolts. In the dark night, it was like a ray of light formed by lightning. Hua! The saber clashed with the ice arrow in the air. With a schwa sound, the lunar shadow saber pierced through the ice arrow. Countless pieces of ice fell down and were shattered by the electric light. At this moment, it was no longer a battle between two people. Instead, it was a battle between two spirit weapons. From the scene in the air, it was clear that Xiao Chen's lunar shadow saber was superior. Dang! The lunar shadow saber pierced through the body. The huge ice arrow gave off a loud sound and turned into countless pieces of ice. However, the electric light on the saber was still very dazzling. Before the countless pieces of ice fell down, they were all shattered by the electric light. Kill! Xiao Chen shouted lightly. He stomped on the ground and leaped into the air. With a wave of his hand, he grabbed the lunar shadow saber that was in the air firmly. A figure flashed in the air, and a black saber light chopped down at Tang Feng. Tang Feng's complexion turned pale. He moved from his original position, leaving behind an afterimage as he continued to retreat. Xiao Chen did not even look at the afterimage. He spun his saber and moved his feet slightly, hacking at a spot 5 meters to the side. Tang Feng reappeared and watched as the black saber tip gently brushed past his throat. He narrowly dodged the saber strike. However, the wind from the saber still managed to cut through the flesh on his throat, leaving behind a faint wound. Tang Feng's throat unconsciously twitched. He felt a slight pain from the wound. His already pale face became even more horrifying. He felt as though he had just returned from the gates of hell. Xiao Chen sheathed his saber and looked at him coldly. Scram. Don't ever appear here again. Don't be unconvinced. I know you have trump cards you have not used yet, but so do I. Furthermore, don't hold any expectations in your heart. The 2 elders of your Tang clan are already dead. The same goes for the Zhang clan's elder. When Xiao Chen finished his last sentence, Tang Feng's complexion completely changed. How is this possible? Those were 4 martial grand masters. Could it be that he killed them? Chapter 69. Still not scramming? Xiao Chen said coldly as he looked at Tang Feng, who was deep in thought. Tang Feng's left hand, which was holding the ice crystal bow, trembled violently. A flame actually appeared on the surface of the snow-white ice crystal bow and started to spread. Go! Tang Feng glared at Xiao Chen, and the flame on the ice crystal bow instantly disappeared. His emotions had also completely calmed down. Xiao Chen, I will repay you for the humiliation I suffered today during the promise of 10 years. At that time, not only will your Xiao clan lose Seven-Horn Mountain, it will also be completely wiped out. This is the trend of the times, no one can change it. You still dare to be stubborn? Xiao Chen flew forward and kicked Tang Feng to the ground. He pointed the lunar shadow saber at his throat. Do you believe that I will kill you now? Try and touch me if you dare, Tang Feng said stubbornly. I have changed my mind. Xiao Chen smiled faintly. It is obvious that you have not used your trump card yet. Regardless of the reason, this is the best opportunity to kill you. Why should I give you a chance to take revenge during the promise of 10 years? What are you trying to do? Quickly let go of the second young master. Are you not afraid of inciting a fight between the Xiao and Tang clans? The 4 people behind Tang Feng said anxiously. What if I kill all of you? At this moment, Tang Feng was truly afraid. His voice weakened as he said, Young Master Xiao, I was just joking earlier. You didn't take it seriously, right? Xiao Chen withdrew his saber and said indifferently, Scram. Honestly speaking, Xiao Chen really wanted to kill all 5 of them. Especially Tang Feng, he gave off an extremely dangerous feeling. However, thinking about it, these 5 people would definitely have a distress signal similar to the Xiao clans. If he was delayed and the Tang clan elders rushed over, he would be in big trouble. Before he left, Tang Feng felt extremely dissatisfied. The 3 arrows earlier had exhausted a large amount of his essence. Furthermore, he had just obtained the ice fire bow and had not fully grasped it yet. Otherwise, given his character, he would not have left just like that. Elder brother Xiao Chen, you are so cool. After that group of people left, Xiao Ling immediately ran over to flatter him. Xiao Chen looked at Xiao Ling somewhat helplessly and said, I will settle this with you later. Go and retrieve the demonic core first. Xiao Ling stuck out her tongue cheekily before running to the front and saying, I'll take this demonic core. Don't fight with me over it. Bang! As Xiao Ling's sword descended, the frozen fire lizard turned into countless ice shards. Xiao Ling found the fire lizard's head and hacked down with her sword. A black demonic core immediately appeared. Xiao Ling immediately picked it up in pleasant surprise. She looked around and ran over to Xiao Chen. She said joyfully, I am incredible, right? I managed to extract the demonic core in an instant. Chen taking it. Chen took it. Xiao Chen took it and said. Xiao Tian Xiao Ling muttered unhappily. Elder brother Xiao Chen, you are too unfair. You nearly caused the death of your team leader, and you still dare to talk back, Xiao Chen said. Let's go, we will continue. Don't lose to Xiao Jian and the rest. Under Xiao Chen's lead, the group continued to hunt demonic beasts. Xiao Chen extended his spiritual sense to the maximum. When he met a group of demonic beasts, he would quickly avoid them. However, Xiao Chen still did not make a move. The true strength of a rank 2 demonic beast was only equivalent to an inferior grade martial master. He did not have any desire to make a move. Although Xiao Chen did not say it, everyone already understood. The reason why Xiao Chen did not make a move was to temper their strength. Thus, there was nothing to complain about. When it was nearing dusk, Xiao Chen stopped today's activities. In just one day, the group had obtained 18 demonic cores. Furthermore, there were no major injuries or deaths. Hence, they were all very relaxed. When they rushed back to the camp, they discovered that Xiao Yulan and the rest had already returned. White smoke rose from the kitchen, and a fragrant aroma wafted over. 13 demonic cores, no major injuries or deaths. Xiao Yulan handed the demonic cores to Xiao Chen and explained the situation during the day. On the way, we met the Zhang clan's people. They were led by Zhang Ziang. However, when they saw us, they were clearly stunned for a moment before quickly retreating. Xiao Chen smiled. We also met the Tang clan's people. When they saw us, they were stunned for a moment as well. Xiao Yulan's expression turned cold as she said, In that case, the 2 corpses that appeared here were not a coincidence. That's right, cousin Xiao Chen. What did you see when you went out yesterday? Xiao Chen did not want to answer this question. Coincidentally, at this moment, there was the sound of dinner being served. He quickly changed the topic, and Xiao Yulan could only helplessly give up on pursuing this matter. After dinner, they lit up a bonfire in the camp once again. A group of people gathered together and excitedly talked about what happened during the day. What surprised Xiao Chen was that Xiao Jian was currently cultivating by himself, not mingling with the others. When night fell, gloomy forest became even colder. Gloomy forest at night was several times more dangerous than it was during the day. Xiao Chen did not want everyone to take any risks. After he arranged for people to keep watch, he instructed everyone to go rest. After everyone fell asleep, Xiao Chen secretly got up and prepared to go out. The trial during the day was only against rank 2 demonic beasts. To him it was not a challenge at all. Thus he did not make a move. The trial had only just begun. Not long after he went out, his spiritual sense suddenly detected someone following him out. When he looked carefully, he discovered that it was Xiao Jian. Xiao Chen looked at the direction Xiao Jian was heading in. It was to the south of the camp, so he did not worry too much. With Xiao Jian's strength, there was nothing wrong with him training alone in gloomy forest. Furthermore, Xiao Chen could not find a way to stop him. Xiao Chen collected his thoughts and started to head to the east of the camp. Before long, a patterned demonic leopard appeared in the range of his spiritual sense. This patterned demonic leopard was a standard rank 3 demonic beast. Its strength had reached the peak of martial master. It was the target that Xiao Chen wanted to train with. Xiao Chen pushed off the ground and leaped up gently. He was already standing on top of a tree branch. His eyes were like water as he stared at the patterned demonic leopard on the ground. This patterned demonic leopard was more than 2 meters tall. Its entire body was black, and it looked similar to the leopards on Earth. However, its eyes were blood red. This was the most distinctive feature of a demonic beast. Even though they were tens of meters apart, Xiao Chun could feel the overwhelming killing intent coming from this patterned demonic leopard, causing him to tremble in fear. Shua! Xiao Chun accidentally broke a tree branch. The ears of the patterned demonic leopard twitched, and it immediately heard the faint sound. Its blood-red eyes looked in the direction of Xiao Chun. The darkness of the night was unable to obstruct its vision. It discovered Xiao Chun in an instant. It roared and a horrifying sound wave immediately attacked Xiao Chun. Bo! A huge amount of energy followed the ripples and attacked Xiao Chun. Everywhere the ripples passed, the huge trees and gloomy forest trembled. Countless leaves fell to the ground. Xiao Chun was secretly shocked. This sound wave attack had a wide range and was very powerful. It seemed to have no weaknesses. However, it was still almost, not definitely. Xiao Chun executed the lightning evasion, and his body appeared behind the patterned demonic leopard. He avoided the sound wave directly. In front of Xiao Chun, who had the lightning evasion, it did not pose much of a threat. The patterned demonic leopard immediately sensed Xiao Chun's position. It turned around and pounced at Xiao Chun. A black chi gathered on its right claw, and it ruthlessly smashed it at Xiao Chun. Flight on wings, one-line chop. Xiao Chun did not dare to be careless. He used a martial technique to meet the attack. This was because he could feel the terrifying energy contained in the black chi. If he was careless, he would be at a disadvantage. Pu Chi. The force from the patterned demonic leopard's right claw caused him to retreat a few steps. However, the patterned demonic leopard did not feel any discomfort after being struck by his one-line chop. The patterned demonic leopard took advantage of the moment Xiao Chun retreated and chased after him. It was more than 2 meters tall, and its red eyes looked down at Xiao Chun. A supreme pressure pressed down on Xiao Chun. Purple thunder, true fire, shoot. Xiao Chun casually shot out a purple flame. The flame left a trail of flames as it quickly struck the patterned demonic leopard. A pool of purple blood flowed out. The patterned demonic leopard cried out in pain. The black chi quickly surged over and dispersed the purple flames. It opened its mouth and roared loudly. A horrifying sound wave engulfed Xiao Chun once again. Heavenly Lightning Shield. At the critical moment, Xiao Chun immediately used the Heavenly Lightning Shield. However, the Heavenly Lightning Shield was not very effective against this strange sound wave attack. The sound wave still managed to penetrate it. Blood leaked out from the corner of Xiao Chun's mouth. His ears actually went deaf for a short period of time. Xiao Chun wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and removed the Heavenly Lightning Shield. A dense killing intent flickered in his eyes. This beast was too infuriating. Even Tang Feng did not put him in such a sorry state. Flight on wings, disordered dance of 1,000 years. Xiao Chun had tried this move a few times before. However, the success rate was only 50%. This was because he did not have a deep understanding of the Battle Sage origins, changing character formula. However, at this moment he could not care so much. He sank his consciousness into his dantian, and Xiao Chun did his best to recall the scene of the battle with Zhang He. Zhang He's every move slowly appeared in Xiao Chun's mind. It was like a movie, playing out continuously. Understanding this in his heart, the changing character formula quietly circulated in his body. Xiao Chun suddenly made a move. His figure leaped into the air and countless saber lights were sent out. Xiao Chun's figure continuously changed in the air. This move was successfully executed by Xiao Chun. The saber light carried the energy of the blue dragon martial spirit. It continuously struck the patterned demonic leopard's body, causing purple blood to spurt out continuously. The patterned demonic leopard roared in pain. It wanted to grab hold of Xiao Chun in the air, but it could not catch hold of Xiao Chun's figure. Die! After the sword technique was executed, the blue dragon martial spirit in Xiao Chun's body transmitted a wave of energy. His body, which was originally falling, was lifted up in the air. The lunar shadow saber released an electric light, revealing its sinister side. The rank 6 demonic core carried a boundless might as it hacked at the patterned demonic leopard. The patterned demonic leopard was hacked in half. After Xiao Chun landed, he sighed slightly. He was somewhat disappointed. Aside from the terrifying sound wave attack of the patterned demonic leopard, it was not very strong. After Xiao Chun extracted the rank 3 demonic core from the patterned demonic leopard's head, he was about to leave and search for his next prey. However, a black shadow flew over his head. Looking up, Xiao Chun was startled. This black shadow was the black-clothed man that Xiao Chun saw controlling the demonic beast the night before. Wuxia. Above his head, another group of white figures flew past. This was true flight, and not the use of superior movement techniques to leap from tree to tree. A martial king expert, Xiao Chun said in astonishment as he looked at the white figure. Who? Just as Xiao Chun was in a daze, the black figure stepped on the huge eagle and flew towards Xiao Chun. His intention was very obvious, to target Xiao Chun, who was on the ground. Chapter 70. That black figure rode on the huge eagle and circled above Xiao Chun's head, not leaving. Xiao Chun only felt that he was being stared at by a pair of gloomy eyes. If he moved even slightly, he would immediately die. Shua. The white figure from earlier also rushed over. Xiao Chun stared at the white figure and felt his mind tremble. It was extremely hair-raising. The white figure in the air was a girl who looked like a young girl. She held a golden 2-meter-long spear in her hand. Her exquisite face was the epitome of beauty. Her skin was like ice and her bones were like jade. Her eyebrows were like a painting, her eyes were like the stars, and her spirit was like jade. Xiao Chun had never seen such a beautiful girl before. There were no words in this world that could describe her beauty. She was like a beautiful piece of jade, formed naturally, without any modifications. Lord Commander, you chased me for 10 days and 10 nights, from the Wind City at the border of the Great Qin Empire, all the way to this small Mo city. Are you really not willing to let me off? The black figure's gloomy voice contained some unwillingness. Just because I awakened a demonic beast martial spirit? Lord Commander, since you entered the border, I have experienced more than 100 battles of various sizes by your side. There are no less than 100 wounds on my body. Have you forgotten about it? The beautiful woman's eyes were filled with a hint of regret, making it hard for anyone to look at her. She opened her red lips and said in a gentle voice, Xiao He, I've never wanted to kill you. Even though you killed 3 of your companions in order to cultivate your demonic beast martial spirit, I still want to destroy your demonic beast martial spirit. Ha ha ha. The black man laughed loudly. What a good never thought of killing me. Earth-ranked martial technique, boundless azure sea. If I was not lucky, I would have died long ago. So be it. Since you want to kill me, I will not care about our past relationship. I will let you accompany those 3 ghosts down there. A saber appeared in the black-clothed man's hand. He rode on the huge eagle and flew towards the girl. The huge eagle under his feet clawed at the air, and a black crack appeared in the air, sweeping towards the girl. After the black eagle launched its attack, the black-clothed man leaped down from the eagle's back and brandished his long saber, releasing waves of black saber chi that surged towards the young girl. Xiao Chun was startled. The strength of this black-clothed man was clearly inferior to that of the white-clothed woman. This could be easily determined from the fact that he needed to ride an eagle to fly, while the white-clothed woman could fly with her own strength. However, the black-clothed man and the giant eagle beneath his feet were indeed 2 against 1. The white-clothed woman might be at a disadvantage. However, things did not go as Xiao Chun had expected. The white-robed woman held the golden spear in her hand and shook it in the air. 9 golden dragons appeared behind her and roared continuously. Waves of supreme imperial might were emitted from the young girl's body. Under this pressure, Xiao Chun almost had to prostrate himself in worship. The aura of an ancient blue dragon suddenly emanated from Xiao Chun's body. That supreme majesty immediately disappeared, and Xiao Chun immediately felt a lot more relaxed. With the protection of the 9 dragons, the spatial crack torn by the black eagle's claws was instantly smoothed out. The spear suddenly turned and sent the black-clothed man flying. The black-clothed man turned around in the air and resolved the overwhelming dragon chi. The black eagle in front seemed to be connected to him and appeared precisely under his feet. The 9 dragons circled in the sky, and the speed of the battle between the 2 increased. Their figures continuously flew up into the sky, releasing countless forces. The surrounding trees were all snapped in half and crushed into powder. Boundless dragon roars resounded and boundless black chi spread out. The golden and black chi clashed intensely in the sky. Xiao Chun complained in his heart. These two were peak experts. If any of the forces they released landed on Xiao Chun's body, they would be able to severely injure him. Xiao Chun had no choice but to activate the heavenly lightning shield to block the forces that descended from the sky occasionally. Although it was only the periphery of the force, it still shook his internal organs and caused his qi and blood to churn. Soon, Xiao Chun could no longer see the figures of the two clearly. In Xiao Chun's opinion, the young girl clearly had the upper hand in terms of strength. However, when they were fighting, it was clear that her strength was insufficient. It was clear that she was somewhat restrained. The true might of the 9 dragons was not fully unleashed. Yi Chenzhou, have you already fallen to such a level? To think that you want to threaten an inferior grade martial disciple to fight with me. Where are your morals? The two of them slowly descended from the sky. The melodious voice of the white-robed girl contained boundless rage. Yi Chenzhou smiled sinisterly. Morals? You are the first commander. Of course you have morals. It is already difficult for me to survive. What do I need morals for? If you want to kill me, then kill this brat first. Let me see your morals. Xiao Chun finally understood why the white-clothed girl was so hesitant. It turned out that it was because of him. However, he could not leave even if he wanted to. That black-clothed man had locked onto him with his aura. If he made any strange movements, he would be killed on the spot. How hateful, the white-robed girl said through clenched teeth. She waved her spear in the air, and the 9 dragons behind her trembled. They circled around the spear and with a whistling sound, they swept towards Yi Chenzhou, creating many dragon images in the air. Dang! Yi Chenzhou brandished his saber to block this attack. However, the dragon images circling around the spear dived down at him. Yi Chenzhou was startled, and he swung his saber 9 times. The 9 surging saber chi clashed intensely with the dragon images. Waves of energy spread out in all directions. Xiao Chun, who was below, vomited a mouthful of blood. Boundless azure sea, the white-robed girl shouted, and a boundless sea appeared behind her. An azure dragon broke out from the depths of the sea. It carried a boundless aura as it charged at Yi Chenzhou. Yi Chenzhou's heart sank. He stomped on the huge eagle with his right foot and flew down quickly. Soon, he was less than a meter above Xiao Chun's head. The white-robed girl frowned. She had not expected him to be so despicable. Her spear trembled in the air, and the azure dragon brushed past Yi Chenzhou. Boom! The azure dragon flew quickly. After it landed, there was a loud sound. Everything within 100 meters was blasted apart, turning into ruins. Yi Chenzhou laughed strangely. Taking advantage of the instant the white-robed girl changed her move, he turned into a black bolt of lightning and struck her right shoulder with his palm. Pussy eye! Another saber light lit up. The white-robed girl could not dodge in time and was struck by several black saber lights. Her long white robes were instantly covered in blood. Yi Chenzhou kicked out, and the white-robed girl was knocked down from the sky. Yi Chenzhou laughed loudly. This is your style? Changing your move at the last moment and revealing an opening. Your style will only cause you to die at my hands. However, you are a short-lived person. I believe that you will not have any regrets, even if I kill you now. Yi Chenzhou laughed loudly in the air. He seemed to have gone crazy. The black qi on his body became even denser. It was a boundless demonic qi that contained boundless energy. Go and die! Yi Chenzhou shouted loudly and descended from the sky. His saber gave off a black saber light that was dozens of meters long. The black eagle below him turned into a black shadow and entered his body. At the same time, an ancient demon master appeared behind him. He held a saber in his hand and hacked down. The white-robed girl looked at Yi Chenzhou, who was possessed by the demon master. She revealed an expression of despair. Am I going to die? Flight on wings, moon bright like fire. I must succeed. I must succeed, Xiao Chun prayed in his heart. The instant the white-robed girl was struck down, Xiao Chun made up his mind. The instant the white-robed girl was struck down, Xiao Chun had already decided to make a move. Even if he died, he had to make a move. What he hated the most in his life were people who bullied women. He did not want to owe a woman a favor. If the girl in front of him died because of him, it would be a heart demon that haunted him for the rest of his life. A full moon slowly rose from the horizon. Xiao Chun rejoiced in his heart. At this crucial moment, he had finally succeeded. Yi Chenzhou felt a dangerous aura. He quickly turned his head to take a look. He did not know when, but a full moon had appeared in the sky. It was as calm as still water as it quickly descended towards him. A strong aura descended along with the moonlight. When the full moon got closer, it had already turned into a huge ball of light, giving off a boundless brilliance. Yi Chenzhou revealed an astonished expression. He quickly changed the direction of his saber and turned around to chop at the full moon that was heading towards him. The 200-meter-long saber light and the demon weapon in the hands of the demon master behind him struck the full moon one after another. When the two huge forces clashed, there was a loud explosion. When the light faded, the overwhelming qi wave spread out in all directions. With a schwa sound, everywhere the qi wave passed, all the ancient trees in gloomy forest were chopped in half. Xiao Chun was sent flying by the qi wave and landed on the ground. He rolled for a few meters before he stopped. Yi Chenzhou quickly retreated 3 steps. With every step he took, he would leave a 2-foot-deep footprint on the ground. Before he could stabilize himself, a golden flame flew towards him. There seemed to be a tiny flood dragon swimming in the golden flame. The golden flame pierced through his heart with a bang. Yi Chenzhou revealed an extremely pained expression. He held his chest and said in disbelief, "He actually gave you a strand of dragon fire." The black qi on Yi Chenzhou's body dissipated continuously. The expression on his face twisted continuously. The black eagle appeared again and carried him into the distance. The two people on the ground no longer had the ability to fight. They could only watch as Yi Chenzhou fled in a sorry state. Xiao Chun swallowed a blood-replenishing pill and slowly walked towards the white-clothed girl in front of him. He discovered that she had already fainted. Her white clothes were tattered from the saber light, revealing a large patch of snow-white skin. The black qi from the wounds on her body was still eating away at her skin. This caused her to reveal an expression of pain, even though she was unconscious. Her beautiful face was completely pale, without any color of blood. It was very poignant. Xiao Chun thought for a while, and took out a few blood-replenishing pills from his universe ring. After crushing them, he slowly applied them to her wounds. When the green medicinal liquid flowed into her wounds, the black qi immediately dissipated significantly. Xiao Chun felt joy in his heart. He continued applying the medicinal liquid. The white-clothed girl's skin was as white as snow, smooth and creamy. Even with Xiao Chun's astonishing willpower, he could not help but feel a ripple in his heart. After applying the medicinal liquid on all the wounds, the girl's upper body was only left with her bra. This was something that could not be helped. There were many saber wounds on the girl's body. If she did not take off her outer clothes, there was no way to apply the medicinal liquid. However, the bras of this world were much tighter than those of Xiao Chun's previous world. There was not a single trace of spring on them. There was a golden longevity lock hanging on the girl's chest. This attracted Xiao Chun's attention. When he thought of what Yi Chenzhou said about this girl having a short lifespan, he could not help but be startled. Could it be that such an absolute beauty was going to die soon? Xiao Chun shook his head and tossed this question to the back of his mind. The problem now was how to deal with this girl. He could not just leave like this. After causing such a huge commotion in gloomy forest, it would definitely attract some demonic beasts. This girl was in such a state because she was worried about him. Xiao Chun could not just ignore her. However, if he wanted to bring her back, it would be too inconvenient. Suddenly, his gaze fell on his universe ring. Xiao Chun smiled faintly. He already had a good idea. Chapter 71. The universe ring was an independent space. It was slightly different from the spatial rings of this world, as it could store living things. As long as the other party was willing or unconscious, it could be stored. This was the might of a magic treasure. Looking at the rubble around him, Xiao Chun lost interest in continuing his hunt. Furthermore, with such a huge commotion, there would definitely be many strong demonic beasts coming. If he continued staying here, he would only die. When Xiao Chun returned, Xiao Yulan and the others were already in the camp. Clearly, the commotion had woken them up. "Cousin Xiao Chun, what did you do outside? Everyone was very worried about you," Xiao Yulan said to Xiao Chun angrily. Xiao Chun blushed with shame in his heart. "Nothing much. I just felt that something was wrong, so I went out to take a look. But the people keeping watch said that they did not see you. You should at least inform them before you went out," Xiao Yulan said as she pointed at the two of them. Xiao Chun felt a headache coming on. Suddenly, he saw Xiao Jian in the crowd and quickly said, "I already told Xiao Jian. Is it Xiao Jian?" Xiao Jian was stunned for a while before he nodded. "And he did indeed tell me." Xiao Chun smiled. "I didn't lie to you, right? Go back to sleep. The people keeping watch, continue keeping watch. I already saw it earlier, there was nothing much." On the second day of the trial, Xiao Chun was afraid of meeting that horrifying black-clothed man again. So he decided to move as a group of 10. The scene of the black-clothed man eating the internal organs, and then treating his injuries, left a deep impression on Xiao Chun. The impression left on Xiao Chun was too deep. Furthermore, he was severely injured last night. Xiao Chun did not dare to take the risk of separating them. In the following 2 days, the group encountered rank 3 and rank 4 demonic beasts a few times during the trial. Although Xiao Chun used his spiritual sense to avoid these demonic beasts, he felt that something was wrong. Bang! Bang! On the morning of the 3rd day of the trial, Xiao Chun felt a series of explosions coming from the universe ring. He felt dizzy, as though the space in the universe ring was about to shatter. It seemed like the white-clothed girl was about to wake up. He had been so busy leading people during the day and training at night, that he had completely forgotten about her. Xiao Chun took out all the rank 2 demonic cores from the universe ring. He was afraid that if he did not take them out, the woman inside would shatter them. After a few days of hard work, he had already accumulated close to 200 rank 2 demonic cores. "Cousin Yulan, take care of these things first. Also keep the demonic cores first. I will be leaving for a while." Xiao Yulan looked at Xiao Chun's actions in astonishment. "Cousin Xiao Chun, what are you doing? We are about to depart. There's no time to explain. I have to leave for a while," Xiao Chun said quickly. There was a drop of his essence blood in the universe ring. Every time it boomed, it was like a clap of thunder in his spiritual world. The remaining people watched as Xiao Chun used the lightning evasion and flew far away. They did not understand what was going on. Xiao Yulan stomped her foot on the ground as she looked at Xiao Chun's dispirited back. Xiao Chun walked far away. After confirming that there was no one around, he let the girl out. "Perverted thief, prepare to die." As soon as the young woman appeared, she threw the spear in her hand at Xiao Chun. This move, which was filled with anger, carried a vigorous energy as it flew towards Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun was startled and quickly dodged. Hey, you first see if you have any losses, and then say I am not a pervert." Xiao Chun saw that she was still ready to fight, hurriedly said. The girl looked at her upper body, that was only left with a bra. Her pale face blushed and she said, "It's already like this and you still dare to quibble. I'll kill you." She waved her hand, and the golden spear appeared in her hand again. She raised it up, and dense killing intent burst forth from her eyes. She was ready to attack again. Xiao Chun saw that it was useless to explain. He had already witnessed this woman's combat prowess, so he immediately prepared to run. Bang! The sound of someone falling came from behind him. Xiao Chun turned his head, and realized that the girl had not made a move on him. She had already fallen to the ground, so he hurriedly walked back. "Don't touch me," the girl said fiercely. Xiao Chun said helplessly, I won't touch. I just want to tell you that I am not a perverted thief. Look at the wounds on your body. None of them left any scars. I only applied medicine for you, and did not do anything else. Don't look at me so fiercely. Look at your current situation. If I really do anything to you, you will definitely not have any ability to resist." After a long time the girl said, "All right, I believe you. But why did you imprison me in that space?" Xiao Chun hurriedly explained his original intentions. Only then did the girl reluctantly believe his words. Help me up first. I believe you. Xiaochen heaved a sigh of relief. He helped her up and leaned against a tree. That's right. I still have not asked for your name. Name? My name is Yuing. The girl said softly. After she finished speaking, a rumbling sound came from her stomach. Her face could not help but turn red. After Xiaochen heard it, he could not help but smile. He took out a fasting pill from the universe ring and said, "Eat this. You will not feel hungry after eating it." Receiving the fasting pill, Yuing did not hesitate to swallow it. After a while, she felt that her empty stomach was not that hungry anymore. She said in astonishment, "Are you an alchemist? This pill is really miraculous." The three clans sent out emergency signals at the same time. Something big must have happened. Why is there not a single person? When Xiaochen rushed to the camp, he discovered that the camp had clearly been tidied up. The corpses of the demonic beasts in the warehouse had all been taken away. Could it be that they had all retreated? Chapter 72. Xiaochen looked around and guessed that everyone had already left. He thought of Yu Ying's words and guessed that the people of the Cheesy County must have received the news that this trial would end early. Just as he was about to leave, he suddenly felt a sense of danger. Xiaochen released his spiritual sense and sensed a cultivator hiding in the shadows of a large tree about 20 meters to his left. This cultivator completely withdrew his aura and stared at Xiaochen. He was just waiting for an opportunity to kill him. Xiaochen controlled his spiritual sense and could not help but smile when he saw him clearly. This person was actually a martial grand master of the Zhang clan. He should have come together with the two elders of the Tang clan. However, Xiaochen did not know how this person managed to evade Yi Chenzhou's pursuit. However, the aura on his body was somewhat weak. In order to evade Yi Chenzhou's pursuit, he must have expended a lot of essence. Furthermore, it was obvious that he had not rested well. With his current state, he did not leave this place as soon as possible. Instead, he wanted to kill me. How much does the Zhang clan hate me? Xiaochen muttered to himself. This person's current state was at most half of his usual state. Xiaochen did not want to escape. To him, this might be an opportunity for a trial. This was much more interesting than a demonic beast. Xiaochen immediately made the first move. There was a flash of lightning, and Xiaochen's body suddenly appeared behind that person. The lunar shadow saber radiated with electricity, and the boundless might of the rank 6 demonic core spread out in all directions. That person turned his head and looked at Xiaochen's smiling face. His face revealed an extremely astonished expression. He could not understand how Xiaochen knew he was hiding here. Outside of gloomy forest, the sun hung high in the sky and shone brightly. "Father, why did you call us back? Cousin Xiaochen has not come out yet," Xiao Yulan said to Xiaochang in dissatisfaction. Not long after Xiaochen left, Xiaochang brought the 4 martial grand masters of the Xiao clan to the Xiao clan's camp. He only said one sentence, "The trial has ended early," before bringing everyone out. Xiaochen frowned. Of the experts that the Cheesy County sent to the core region of Gloomy Forest, aside from a martial grand master who managed to escape, the others all died, including that martial saint expert. The people behind him all took a deep breath and said, "Even a martial saint expert died. Are the demonic beasts of Gloomy Forest that terrifying?" He was killed by a human, not by a demonic beast. Furthermore, the way he died was extremely horrifying. Cheesy County has already reported what happened in Gloomy Forest to the imperial family. Now this is not a place where we can interfere. Hence, the trial will be cancelled, Xiaochang explained. Xiao Yulan's pretty face changed slightly as she said anxiously, "Then isn't cousin Xiaochen in even more danger? No, I have to go in and look for him." "Nonsense!" Xiaochang shouted sternly. "Why don't you think about what happened in Seven-Horn Mountain? Do you think Xiaochen will die so easily? If he wants to run, even a martial saint would not be able to catch him. If you go, you will only add to his burden." Xiao Yulan's eyes turned red, but she did not say anything. "What is Elder Xiao doing? Are you scolding me? This is not good." The Tang clan head Tang Tian led a group of people over. "Where is your second young master? Why don't I see him? Could he have been eaten by the demonic beasts?" Xiao Chang looked at Tang Tian and mocked coldly. Don't think that I do not know what you did in Gloomy Forest. Unfortunately, your plans are not as good as God's. 2 elders died for nothing. Tang Tian's expression changed before he smiled. This Tang does not understand what Elder Xiao is saying. However, although this trial ended early, the results of the 3 clans still have to be compared. I wonder how many demonic cores the Xiao clan obtained. When the city lord arrives, I will report the results. I hope that the Tang clan will not report too little. This time, the Xiao clan had obtained a total of 180 rank 2 demonic cores. Xiao Chang was already very satisfied with this result, after only 3 days. Thus he was not afraid of Tang Tian's mockery. Not long later, the city lord Duga Feng gathered the people of the 3 clans together. His expression looked very relaxed, as though the matter in Gloomy Forest did not affect him at all. Duga Feng smiled. Although this trial was affected and had no choice but to end early, the same rules apply. The competition between the 3 clans will continue. I wonder if anyone will surpass the Xiao clan this time. The Xiao clan has already taken first place a few times. Let's start with the Zhang clan. I wonder how many demonic cores the Zhang clan obtained this time. When the Zhang clan had heard this, his expression became extremely unsightly. This time, the most capable disciple of the Zhang clan, Zhang He, did not come because his martial spirit was injured. There was not much of a harvest at all. However, since the city lord had spoken, he had no choice but to report it. The Zhang clan obtained a total of 50 rank 2 demonic cores this time, the Zhang clan head said. Duga Feng was not surprised by this result. He smiled gently. It's fine. Zhang He did not come. It is already pretty good that you obtained such results. Next, the Tang clan will report. I have quite high expectations for the Tang clan. Tang Tian smiled faintly. City lord is too kind. The Tang clan obtained a total of 100 rank 2 demonic cores this time. After Tang Tian spoke, he glanced at Xiao Chang. The meaning in his eyes was very clear. It's time for you to report. When Xiao Chang heard the Tang clan's report, he heaved a sigh of relief. When he saw the city lord's gaze, Xiao Chang said, the Xiao clan obtained a total of 180 rank 2 demonic cores in this trial. When Dugu Feng heard this, he laughed loudly. Looks like the Xiao clan's foundation is deep enough. The Xiao clan won this trial again. Congratulations. Tang Tian revealed a deep smile. City lord, don't be in a rush to congratulate us. Tang Feng, show your harvest to the city lord. When Tang Feng heard this, he walked forward and took out 6 demonic cores, placing them in front of the city lord. The luster of these 6 demonic cores was incomparably deep. It stood out from the rest of the rank 2 demonic cores. Someone at the side immediately exclaimed, these are rank 3 demonic cores. That's right, they really are rank 3 demonic cores. Someone at the side took one of the demonic cores and looked at it carefully. A rank 3 demonic beast was equivalent to a martial grand master. This Tang Feng was actually able to take out 6 demonic cores in one go. This was simply unbelievable. In the many years of the trial in Mo City, I have never heard of anyone obtaining a rank 3 demonic core. Looks like the Tang clan is going to obtain first place this time, suppressing the Xiao clan. That's right. What's even rarer is that he is only a peak superior grade martial disciple. With this kind of strength, as long as he improves further, no one will be a match for him in the upcoming promise of 10 years. Duga Feng looked carefully at the 3 demonic cores that Tang Feng handed over. When he was done, he smiled and said, looks like the Xiao clan will not be able to keep their first place. The value of these 3 rank 3 demonic cores is equivalent to 100 rank 2 demonic cores. Tang Tian looked at Xiao Chang with a pleased expression. Elder Xiao, I'm sorry. The first place of this trial belongs to my Tang clan. If they were able to suppress the Xiao clan in this trial, and defeat them in the promise of 10 years, the Xiao clan's reputation would fall to rock bottom. The merchant groups and powers that had dealings with the Xiao clan would quickly see the situation and cut off all ties with the Xiao clan. At that time, the Xiao clan would truly be in dire straits. Xiao Chang's expression was somewhat unsightly. He originally thought that he would definitely win. He did not expect that he would be ruthlessly slapped in the face in the end. Tang Tian's move was too vicious. The expressions of the Shao clan disciples were also extremely unsightly. This trial represented the glory of the clan. They were all responsible for not being able to obtain first place. Even the usually mischievous Xiaoling was biting her red lips with a depressed expression. Just at this moment, Xiao Jian, who was in the crowd, slowly walked to the front of the city lord. He took out 5 demonic cores and said indifferently, "I also obtained 5 rank 3 demonic cores. Would the city lord please appraise them?" After he spoke, he walked to the back in a manner that was neither servile nor overbearing. His expression was as calm as water, making it hard for others to guess what he was thinking. It's Xiao Jian. Could it be that he obtained a rank 5 demonic core as well? This was once the strongest person in Mo City. Did he really obtain a rank 3 demonic core? I heard that after he was humiliated by Zhang he had been in closed-door training. Who would have thought that he would be able to amaze the world with a single brilliant feat? I wonder if he can reverse the Shao clan's defeat. I think it will be difficult. After all, he only took out 5 rank 3 demonic cores while Tang Feng took out 6. The people in the city lord's residence were all discussing this. No one expected that the results of this trial would be filled with so many twists and turns. Zhuge Feng muttered to himself for a while before saying, "These 5 demonic cores are indeed rank 3 demonic cores. I thought about it. The Tang clan has 1 more rank 3 demonic core than the Shao clan, and the Shao clan has 80 more rank 2 demonic cores than the Tang clan. How about we consider it a draw?" Xiao Chang smiled gently, expressing his acceptance of this result. He originally thought that he would definitely lose. Who knew that there would be a twist in the situation? It was already pretty good to be able to obtain a draw. At this moment, the one who was the most unhappy was Tang Tian. He said with some dissatisfaction, "The value of a rank 3 demonic core is much higher than a rank 2 demonic core. I believe that it is worth at least 100 rank 2 demonic cores." Xiao Chang mocked. "Do you think that it is worth 100 just because you say it is worth 100? Do you think that you are the pavilion master of Linling Pavilion? You think that it is only worth 50? What can you do about it?" Tang Tian said angrily, "Anyway, I will not accept this draw. When I return, I will announce that the Tang clan obtained first place in this trial." At this moment, Zhuge Feng was also in a difficult position. He was not able to make a judgment on this result. After all, he was not an expert in the value of the demonic core. It is indeed not a draw. I think so too. However, the one who lost is your Tang clan. Who was it that said such words? The air was so loud. Everyone turned to look, and saw the figure of a youth slowly walking out from the exit of Gloomy Forest. His eyes were slightly squinted, as he was not used to the sudden bright light. He was carrying a round bag on his back. When the sunlight shone on his face, it made his face, which could barely be considered handsome, look incomparably brilliant. His voice was not loud, but everyone heard him clearly. "Cousin Xiao Chen, you are finally back. Brother Xiao Chen, quickly come and take revenge for Ling Er." "Captain!" The Shao clan disciples that followed Xiao Chen all ran over in surprise. Xiao Chen greeted them one by one. The smile on his face did not diminish as he arrived in front of Tang Tian, and looked at him fearlessly. "Since you do not want a draw, I will let you lose convincingly." He waved his hand and released 3 demonic cores. These are the rank 3 demonic beast, demonic pattern leopard's demonic core, a total of 3. These are the rank 3 demonic beast, demonic blood moon monkey's demonic core, a total of 3. These are the rank 3 demonic beast, swordtail dragon's demonic core, a total of 4. Every time Xiao Chen mentioned the name of a demonic beast, the surrounding crowd would let out a cry of surprise. Finally, Xiao Chen took out 8 types of demonic beasts' demonic cores, at least 3 of each type. What else do you have to say? Tang Tian, your Tang clan will never be able to surpass the Shao clan. If you want to be number 1, you have to ask me, Xiao Chen, first. Xiao Chen said coldly as he looked at the dumbfounded Tang Tian. Everyone from the Shao clan felt that they had vented their anger. When they saw Tang Tian's speechless expression, they all felt extremely comfortable. Xiao Chen said indifferently, "If you are still not convinced, this bag on my back is worth another 100 rank 2 demonic cores." After Xiao Chen finished speaking, he opened the round bag on his back and casually tossed it to the ground. A round human head rolled on the ground. The head's eyes were wide open as it died with the remaining grievance. That was an elder of the Zhang clan. How did he get killed by Xiao Chen? According to the rules, he should not have appeared in the gloomy forest. The surrounding crowd all took a deep breath. What? Tang Tian and the Zhang clan head exclaimed at the same time. Their expressions changed as they looked at Xiao Chen with fear in their eyes. Chapter 73. Xiao Chen, you actually dared to kill an elder of my Zhang clan? After the Zhang clan head recovered from his shock, he said angrily. The people of the Zhang clan behind him rushed forward, looking like they were about to start a fight. The first elder Xiao Chong rushed forward, and the cultivators of the Xiao clan rushed forward without any fear. Xiao Chen smiled coldly. If he wants to kill me, why can't I kill him? It's just that I hate people like you who ambush me from behind and bully the weak. If you don't want your son to be killed the moment he leaves, it's best that you stop playing such tricks. And your Tang clan? Xiao Chen turned his gaze to Tang Tian and said, Stop playing such tricks with me. If you are not afraid of me ending your bloodline, I don't mind helping you out. You are too much. Xiao Chen, are you thinking of starting a clan war during the promise of 10 years? You actually dare to end my bloodline. Tang Tian was so angry that his face turned purple. The people behind him also surrounded him, eyeing him covetously. Xiao Chong, who had been silent all this while, suddenly said, A clan war is a clan war. My Xiao clan is not afraid of you. If you dare to use any methods, my Xiao clan will naturally receive them. Although my Xiao clan is not strong, we will not work together like some people and play tricks. Before the trial started, you sent 2 of your clan's elders to wait at my Xiao clan's campsite. Unfortunately, the heavens make fools of people, and they were killed. Du Gufeng's expression changed. There was such a thing. Tang Tian quickly thought about it. This matter was not honorable, and he had already violated the agreement with the city lord. He definitely could not admit to it. Xiao Chong, don't slander us. You have to show evidence before you speak. Evidence. We buried the corpses of the elders of your 2 clans long ago. If you want evidence, I can dig them out for you now. I want you to explain why the trial has not started yet. Why did the elders of your 2 clans come to my Xiao clan's campsite? Xiao Chong looked at the 2 of them and smiled coldly. The hearts of Tang Tian and the Zhang family head froze. They did not expect that the 4 of them would actually die. Furthermore, their corpses were found by the Xiao family. At this moment, it was truly hard for them to explain. Du Gufeng opened his mouth to help. Elder Xiao, since no one from the Xiao clan was harmed, how about we put this matter aside for now? The Xiao clan's harvest from this trial is quite great. I will definitely report this to the higher-ups when I return. As the city lord of Mo City, what Du Gufeng did not want to see the most was a fight between the 3 clans. This would result in a lot of casualties, and it would be hard for him to deal with it if the higher-ups pursued the matter. Xiao Chong did not want to flare up now. The situation was very clear. The Zhang clan and the Tang clan had joined forces, and there was an invisible powerful faction supporting them. The situation was clearly disadvantageous to the Xiao clan. If a clan war really broke out, the Xiao clan would definitely suffer great losses. Right now, they could only place all their focus on the promise of 10 years martial competition. When Du Gufeng saw that Xiao Chong did not say anything, he could already guess what he was thinking. He turned his gaze to the other 2 clan heads and said, I do not wish to see such a thing happen again. You can compete, but it's best if you don't fight to the death. Tang Tian and the Zhang family head were in the wrong. The city lord was willing to give them a way out of this embarrassing situation, so they went with the flow and said some pleasantries. The trial is over. There is no need for everyone to worry about the matters here. Go back, Du Gufeng said finally. On the second day, the results of the trial spread throughout the entire Mo City. The Xiao clan obtained first place once again. It was unknown how the process of the trial was spread. The news of Xiao Chen taking out over 20 rank 3 demonic cores in front of the Zhang clan and Tang clan spread everywhere. becoming the topic of discussion in every big tea house. After Xiao Chun defeated Zhang he once again became the focus of everyone's discussion. Everyone believed that with Xiao Chun, the Xiao clan would not have to worry about the promise of 10 years that would take place a month later. Mo City, Xiao clan. After the trial ended, Xiao Chun and the other cultivators who were preparing for the promise of 10 years were strictly forbidden from going out by the first elder. At such a crucial moment, if a participant were to get injured, the promise of 10 years would have to cry. Although the Zhang clan and Tang clan guaranteed that they would not play any tricks, this guarantee did not make people feel at ease. At that time, as long as the dead could not tell the truth, it would be fine. In Xiao Chun's courtyard, Xiao Chun was not in a rush to cultivate. He was currently holding a small knife, carving something on the spiritual wood that he had obtained from the tree spirit. On the stone table, there were all sorts of small sculptures that Xiao Chun had carved. From birds and beasts to people, there was everything one could think of. However, the quality of the sculptures varied, and most of them were just a bunch of weird sculptures. A few days after returning from Gloomy Forest, Xiao Chun felt that he was on the verge of becoming a martial master. As long as the time was right, he would be able to break through immediately. Thus, he did not spend all his time cultivating. No matter how he cultivated, before the promise of 10 years, he was only an inferior grade martial master. This was not worth it. He might as well make use of this time to study the immortal arts and talismans in the Compendium of Cultivation. A few days after returning, he bought a large amount of wood and started to train his carving skills. After spending a week carving more than 1,000 sculptures on ordinary wood, Xiao Chun started to carve on the piece of spiritual wood. However, he only took a small section. Xiao Chun gently placed this piece of sculpture that was the size of a finger in his hand. This was a swallow, the creature from his previous life. Although it looked similar, Xiao Chun felt that it was lacking some charm. Second young master, are you carving again? You sure are free. I just saw Miss Yulan and Xiao Jian sparring in the dueling grounds. They are working hard, Bauer said as she walked over with a large bag on her back. When Xiao Chun heard this, he smiled gently. He picked up one of the sculptures on the stone table and said to Bauer, "This is for you. Do you think it looks like it?" Bauer received it and took a look. She discovered that the sculpture was carved in her image. She blushed and felt joy in her heart. She said, "Second young master, you are really something. You actually managed to carve Bauer." After she said that, she placed the things she bought to the side. She picked up the sculpture and ran away shyly. Xiao Chun looked at Bauer's back and smiled faintly. Looking at the things she bought, he felt very grateful in his heart. In the past few days, Xiao Chun could not go out. The things he wanted to buy were all done by Bauer. Furthermore, his consumption was huge. To a girl, it was very tiring. Carrying the things Bauer bought, Xiao Chun slowly walked towards his room. After he entered his room, the relaxed expression on Xiao Chun's face disappeared. He held the swallow carved from the spiritual wood in his hand. He focused his mind and gently tapped it. The spiritual energy on the swallow suddenly became incomparably dense, giving off the glow of life. Flap! Flap! The swallow grew larger, and was now the size of a normal bird. It flapped its wings in the air, and actually came to life. A clear and melodious cry could be heard. It was very refreshing. Success! Xiao Chun exclaimed in joy. This was a spell from the Compendium of Cultivation, the life bestowal spell. It could conjure a high-level creature out of thin air. However, Xiao Chun's cultivation was too low. He had not reached the level of conjuring beings into soldiers. He needed to first carve out the creature he wanted to create. Furthermore, the material had to have spiritual energy. In the past few days, he had tried many times with ordinary wood carvings. However, he had not succeeded once. Today, he used the spiritual wood carving to complete this spell. Xiao Chun extended his hand into the air, and the swallow sensed Xiao Chun's intentions. It flapped its wings and flew into his hand. Xiao Chun smiled faintly and gently stroked the creature he created. Then he placed his hand into the air, and it circled around again. Xiao Chun retracted his gaze and turned to the things Bauer bought. He took them out one by one and placed them on the table. a writing brush, a large bottle of spirit beast blood, and a stack of yellow paper were all taken out by Xiaochen. These yellow papers were not ordinary paper. They were made from the fur and bones of spirit beasts. They were very expensive. When Xiaochen found out that there was such ready-made spirit paper for sale in this world, he was excited for an entire day. These papers were naturally made to create talismans. However, the people of this world only saw their antiseptic properties. Using them to record important documents and books was simply overkill. Talismans were one of the most important offensive methods of immortal techniques. In the past, Xiaochen did not have time to study them, because his cultivation was not high enough. On the eve of a great battle, Xiaochen was unexpectedly free. It would be a pity if he did not study them now. Xiaochen poured the spirit beast blood into the ink bottle. Then he took out a rank 3 demonic core. After crushing it, he turned it into powder and placed it into the ink bottle. The bottle containing the spirit beast blood instantly boiled. Gray blood rose from the surface, and the red blood turned into a rich purple. With the addition of the demonic core and spirit beast blood, Xiaochen saw that the spiritual qi in the blood had increased by several times. He felt a wave of satisfaction in his heart. Holding the writing brush in his hand, Xiaochen dipped it into the purple spiritual liquid. Then he began to draw the talisman. With a thought, the surrounding spiritual qi began to slowly flow towards the tip of the brush. Following Xiaochen's actions, one talisman after another appeared on the yellow paper. Wherever the purple spiritual liquid passed, it would emit a faint glow. When Xiaochen completed the final stroke, the light on the yellow paper suddenly flared up. Rays of light followed the strange talisman on the yellow paper, forming a small array. Xiaochen put away the brush and quickly formed a hand seal with both hands. The light on the yellow paper converged. Following Xiaochen's hand seal, the paper quickly folded itself. Finally, it turned into a triangular shape and was held in Xiaochen's hand. Xiaochen breathed a sigh of relief. This talisman was finally completed in one go without any mistakes. Although this was only a basic offensive talisman, Xiaochen was already very satisfied that he was able to succeed on his first try. Puchi! Xiaochen waved the talisman in his hand, and the triangular talisman quickly unfurled in the air. After that, it exploded, creating a palm-sized flame wave. The swallow that was happily flying in the air seemed to be startled. It fell to the ground with a pu-tong sound, and turned back into a wooden sculpture. There was no spiritual qi on the spirit wood. When Xiaochen saw this, he could not help but smile bitterly in his heart. Superior quality materials coupled with superior technique. However, because the grade of the talisman was too low, it was not even strong enough to kill a mosquito. What made Xiaochen even more speechless was that the life bestowal spell's charm was easily broken by this negligible attack. I have to continue working hard. I have to make a higher grade talisman and a stronger wooden sculpture. Xiaochen encouraged himself. Chapter 74. Half a month passed in the blink of an eye. The date of the promise of 10 years was getting closer and closer. Xiaochen locked himself in his room, studying talismans and the life bestowal spell. He never left his house, living a life that was almost completely isolated from the world. Xiaochen followed the method in the Compendium of Cultivation and channeled his spiritual energy into the wooden sculpture in his hand. With a schwa sound, the wooden sculpture transformed into a woman emitting golden light in the air. The woman held a golden spear in her hand and lightly waved her wrist in the air. A stream of dragon qi gathered in the spear and 9 golden dragon shadows rose up behind her. Waves of dragon might spreading out in all directions. Boom! Before the smile on Xiaochen's face could fade, the woman suddenly shattered, turning into a pile of sawdust in the air, slowly drifting down. It still didn't work. Xiaochen sighed slightly in his heart. Over the past half a month, his achievements in the field of talismans could be considered gratifying. However, he still couldn't officially succeed in the life bestowal spell. Carving some small animals and making them temporarily real was no longer a problem for Xiaochen. However, he had never really succeeded in making real combat weapons. This girl was carved by him using Yu Ying's image, Ying was the strongest girl he had ever seen. Furthermore, the martial technique she used, Xiao Chen's battle sage origins changing character formula, had also captured a trace of it, and was able to successfully merge it. However, after half a month of hard work, Xiao Chen always felt that a trace of the most important charm was missing. As a result, the combat weapons he carved would not last more than 3 seconds. Could it be that he could only succeed after reaching the martial master realm? Xiao Chen wondered in his heart. There was only half a meter of spiritual wood left on the table. Xiao Chen did not have many chances left. This kind of spiritual wood was very difficult to find. Xiao Chen asked Bao to go to Glittering Jewels Pavilion to inquire about it. Even in Cheesy County's Glittering Jewels Pavilion, it was difficult to obtain a piece of spiritual wood in a year. Old spirit wood was even harder to find. Even if there was spirit wood, it wouldn't be Xiao Chen's turn to buy it. That was because this kind of spiritual wood was very popular, and almost as soon as it was put on the shelves, it would be bought by alchemists at a high price. Although Xiao Chen was anxious, he wasn't overly anxious. These things couldn't be rushed. The more anxious you were, the less likely you would be able to find that feeling. Back at the desk, Xiao Chen's somewhat gloomy mood finally improved a little. On the desk were all kinds of talismans that he had made in the past few days. The types of talismans in the Compendium of Cultivation were complex and varied. The various types of talismans dazzled the eyes, making it hard for the eyes to take in. For the sake of convenience, Xiao Chen categorized the talismans into 3 categories: offensive, defensive, and special. The offensive type of talisman mainly used spiritual energy of different attributes to inscribe the runes on the talisman paper. The more complex the talisman, the more attributes it had, the more powerful the attack. Defensive talismans and special talismans were basically the same as offensive talismans in theory, but their specific applications were different. Talismans were divided into 9 ranks from low to high. With Xiao Chen's current strength, he could only inscribe rank 2 talismans. He could inscribe rank 3 talismans, but the failure rate was too high. Xiao Chen gave up after trying a few times. It consumed too many materials, and the gains did not make up for the losses. Second young master. The first elder invites you to the Great Hall. He says that an honored guest has arrived. Bao's melodious voice came from outside the door. Xiao Chen opened the door and walked out. Feeling suspicious, he asked, "Honored guest? Bao, do you know who the honored guest is?" Bao smiled mischievously. "It is a great beauty, very beautiful. The first elder is very respectful to her. I think he calls her something like Miss Feng." "Miss Feng? Feng Fei Xue?" Xiao Chen's eyes lit up. "Is that woman wearing men's clothes?" Bao felt it was strange, so she asked, "Second young master, how did you know?" "Young master, can't I foresee the future?" Xiao Chen smiled gently. "That's right," Xiao Chen thought to himself. "It must be Feng Fei Xue. How strange, why is she here at our Xiao clan? Furthermore, it is at this time. There is less than half a month left, before the promise of 10 years ends. Is it a coincidence that she is here now?" After passing through a few gardens, Xiao Chen did not walk for long before he arrived at the Great Hall. What surprised Xiao Chen was that aside from Xiao Chang and Feng Fei Xue, Xiao Jian and Xiao Yulan were here as well. "Young Master Xiao, it has been a long time." Feng Fei Xue was dressed in men's clothes. Her delicate eyebrows exuded a heroic spirit. She was still as elegant as before. Xiao Chen smiled faintly. "I did not expect to meet you here. Miss Feng is really resourceful, to be able to see me everywhere." When the 3 people at the side saw that Xiao Chen knew Feng Fei Xue, they were astonished. Xiao Chang asked, "Xiao Chen, you already knew Miss Feng?" Xiao Yulan and Xiao Jian were curious about Xiao Chang's question as well. They waited for Xiao Chen's reply. Xiao Chen found a chair and sat beside Xiao Yulan. He said, "I can't say that I know her, but I have met her a few times. Would First Elder please introduce us?" When Xiao Chang heard this, he smiled and said, "This is Miss Feng Fei Xue. Her clan runs a merchant association. It is the largest merchant association in the Great Qin Empire. Their business covers the entire continent. Even in the Great Jin dynasty, they are considered one of the top. Her ancestors in our Xiao clan can be considered to have some sort of relationship. When Xiaochang said this, there was a trace of undetectable sadness in the depths of his eyes. Feng Feishua's sharp senses caught the trace of sadness in Xiaochang's eyes. She smiled calmly, appearing calm and unruffled. Uncle Xiao is too kind. I am just a businessman. Although she said it very modestly, it was equivalent to her accepting Xiaochang's words. Xiao Chun and the other two were startled. The Tianwu continent was very big. For her clan to be able to spread their business across the continent, their strength was not to be underestimated. However, how could such a strong power have a relationship with the Xiao clan's ancestors? Even if they did, there was no need for them to pay a visit to the Xiao clan. Xiaochang looked at the three of them and said, "Since the three of you are here, I will inform you of Miss Feng's intentions. After this promise of 10 years, no matter the result, Miss Feng will think of a way to recommend the three of you to the Heavenly Qin School." Heavenly Qin School. When Xiao Chun and the other two heard these words, a huge wave surged in their hearts, unable to calm them down for a long time. The Heavenly Qin School was one of the 5 great schools of the Tianwu continent. It was located in the Great Qin nation's capital. It had existed even before the Great Qin Empire. It was said that the founding emperor of the Great Qin Empire, Ing Zheng, studied in the Heavenly Qin School when he was young. After the empire was established, he immediately made the Heavenly Qin School the national school. In the Tianwu continent, aside from the 3 Orthodox Holy Lands, which had a longer history than the Tianwu dynasty, there were other existences comparable to the Holy Lands. These powers had existed since the Tianwu dynasty. In the hearts of the people, they were not much different from the Holy Lands. For example, the 3 great sects of the Great Qin Empire, the Misty Sword sect, the Heavenly Saber Pavilion, and the Night Spirit Palace were such powers. However, the Heavenly Qin School was an existence that was in between the two. It was higher than those fake Holy Lands, but lower than the 3 Orthodox Holy Lands. There was another big difference between it and the sections. The school did not interfere in the struggles of any powers. It was just a school. Even when the royal court of the Great Qin Empire had a few internal conflicts, the strong seniors of the school did not interfere. Xiao Jian suppressed the excitement in his heart and asked, "With our talent, can we really enter the Heavenly Qin School?" Feng Feishua smiled faintly. "You don't have to worry about this. The entrance exam of the school is not just a test of cultivation realm. The most important thing is actual combat. Furthermore, even if it is just a cultivation realm, the talent of the 3 of you in the Great Qin Empire is definitely not bad. The most important thing is that a few of the great clans have the right to recommend you. There is no need for you to worry." Xiao Jian was not stupid, and quickly understood the meaning behind her words. He directly asked, "These quotas should be very precious, right? Do you have any requests for giving them to us? I don't believe that you would be so kind as to give them to us." When Feng Feishua heard this, she smiled gently and said, "First, young master is really direct. I really do not have any requests. If you don't believe me, you can ask Uncle Xiao." The 3 of them turned their gazes to Xiao Chang, waiting to see how he would answer. No requests. This was unbelievable. Xiao Chang nodded. "There is no need to worry. If you want to go, just say it. If you do not want to go, Miss Feng will not force you." Xiao Jian thanks Miss Feng for her kind intentions. "I sincerely want to go. I have offended you with my earlier words. I want to know how big this world is, and how many outstanding talents there are. If I were to stay in Mo City for the rest of my life, I would definitely regret it." Xiao Jian said sincerely with a trace of heroism in his words. Xiao Yulan looked at Xiao Chun, and her eyes flickered with hope. She said, "Cousin Xiao Chun, are you going?" "I will wait for father to come out of closed-door training first," Xiao Chun said, evading the responsibility. Although Xiao Chun yearned for the Heavenly Qin School, he did not desire it as much as Xiao Jian did. How big was the world? How many outstanding talents there were? Could the Heavenly Qin School really find the answer? A single leaf obscures one's eyes, and one cannot see MT. The sky that you see might just be a leaf in the eyes of others. Xiao Chun had already made up his mind long ago. After the promise of 10 years, he would definitely leave the Xiao clan. However, after the matter with Ao Jiao, the lunar shadow saber did not hum for him. The place he wanted to go the most was still the Heavenly Saber Pavilion. Thinking of Ao Jiao, Xiao Chun felt a sense of melancholy in his heart. It assaulted him once again, causing him to feel a sense of loss. When Xiao Jian heard Xiao Chun's words, he could not help but feel serious. He could not help but look at the first elder. Xiao Chong smiled faintly. No problem. After the clan head comes out of closed-door training, he will respect your decision and will not stop you. When Xiao Yulan heard the meaning behind Xiao Chen's words, she could not help but feel disappointed. She said dejectedly, Miss Feng, can I consider it for a period of time? Seeing Xiao Yulan's expression, a strange light flashed in Feng Feishua's eyes. However, it disappeared in an instant. She smiled and said, I will not be leaving for a month. You can consider it carefully. She turned her gaze to Xiao Chun and said, Young Master Xiao, can I speak to you privately? Xiao Chun looked at the first elder. When he saw him nod his head, he said, Not a problem. The two of them walked out of the great hall. Xiao Yulan led the way in front. After they arrived at a secluded garden, they stopped. Then, she turned around and stared at Xiao Chun with a pair of eyes brimming with spiritual energy. Xiao Chun said somewhat unnaturally, I wonder why Miss Feng is looking for me? Pussy eye. Feng Feishua did not reply to him. Suddenly, a folding fan appeared in her hand and she aimed it at Xiao Chen's face. The folding fan gave off a fiery red glow. Just as it was about to reach Xiao Chen, it opened up with a schwa sound. A fiery red lotus soared into the air, looking very alluring. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.